help you sell a record just like I do. Now that's me. Your neck and your back, bitch, you know you was wrong and came Wayne ho. I ain't even like that song. Oh, is all of this just over some dick? I told you in my debut, best friends, I do 5 or 6. Enough of that, bitch. I got some other shit to address about some pussy ass niggas with my name in their chest, saying straight the fuck, baby. Now she fucking little wild. You niggas snitching on your record, fucking up a bitch name. You wouldn't do that to a nigga. Why you do it to me? You sounding like a whole nigga. Why you slandering T? Cause you's a cash money reject, a night birth soldier. Keep fucking with that boy, you gon' end up in the coma. And what about the water boy? Kid, the city. Last I heard, you ain't even from Philly. So nigga, keep the beach warm and let the players answer this shit. Cause you just dissing for a deal, but I'm dissing with the real. Yes, beef. Beef is when it don't make a nigga fall asleep. Beef is when you sound like a motherfucking sheep. Beef is when I help you sell records just like I do. Now that's beef. What's beef? Beef is in the street, nigga, beefing with a chick. Beef is when you brag on another nigga's dick. Beef is when I help you sell records just like I do. Now that's beef, nigga. Niggas. You niggas can't be funny. You niggas is real fucking funny to me. Get the fuck out of here. Now that's beef, what's beef? Beef is in the street, nigga, beefing with a chick. Beef is when you brag on another nigga's dick. Beef is when I help you sell records just like I do. Now that's beef, nigga. Niggas. You niggas can't be funny. You niggas is real fucking funny to me. Get the fuck out of here.
Hi, you guys. What's going on, Conscious crew? Welcome to another riveting episode of the CTV motherfucking platform, girl. So this is an improv show. Okay, I decided I was going to do the show tomorrow night, but I'm still kind of like energized. I just got off of a panel, the Yes God Roundtable. Okay, we are back for season 4, I believe. Okay, with the wonderful, beautiful content creator YB Entertainment, along with my other co-host, Cats Meow, Tremel from G Status, okay. Captivating Christian, who was a new addition to the panto. Okay. And okay, we had special guest, reality star, web series star, Court Day Sings on tonight's show, honey. Very interesting show. I posted it in the community wall, child. Go over and get into some things, honey. We are trying to heal up these streets, you know, trying to get along more as content creators, as peers who are all sharing this space, child. So I think it is a wonderful show that really personifies maturity and healing, okay, which I'm all here for. Now, speaking of healing, honey, Miss FTN Bae was working with a broken foot in this old nasty piece of interview with our baby mother, UnWineWithTashaK, K, baby, who sat down rapper Doodie Lo, along with his ex-girlfriend of 4 months, FTN Bae, I believe her name is Brittany, who had alleged months ago that her 5-year-old son had been, I'm gonna have to use creative languages for YouTube purposes, who had been assaulted in a very salacious kind of a way by her then boyfriend, Doodie Lo. Now, a shitstorm of controversy erupted because FTN Bae had uploaded a series of videos initially where she is having a confessional moment with her son, who is recounting to her what he alleged took place between him and rapper then boyfriend Doodie Lo, girl. And then from there, it's been an even bigger shit show because certain statements have been retracted by FTN Bae, who did a series of videos. One included her basically admitting to everyone that her 5-year-old son lied about the entire incident, that he had been pooping in his pants, and he just didn't know how else to justify why he wasn't being a big boy and using the restroom properly. So he co-wingled up this grandiose allegation or grandiose scenario between him and Doodie Lo, who he alleged took some screws that were welded together and inserted them into his rectum. Okay, now allegedly, girl, there was surveillance footage, etc., of this young child hiding these screws in the backyard and burying them. Initially, FTN Bae had alleged that she had footage, that she also found the nails herself. It was a lot going on, okay? So that led to an investigation that FTN Bae opened up against rapper ex-boyfriend Doodie Lo, okay, where her son went through medical exams, all type of things, girl. Well, all that brought us to UnWineWithTashaK K interviewing Doodie Lo in person, as well as Miss FTN Bae, Miss Brittany, girl. And wow, it's all I could say, child. What's going on, Mookie? Hey, y'all. Hey, Mods. Hey, Oz. Hey, Perp. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Tiff. Girl, it was heavy. It was a lot. It was a fucking mess. But Tasha K did her motherfucking thing. So before we get any further into this discussion, girl, because I'm gonna give y'all the backstory, we're gonna pull up some Shade Room articles to give an old nasty piece of chronological recount of everything. We're gonna talk about Tasha K interviewing, and then I'm gonna open up the lines that you guys call in, girl, sound off on the shit, because this is wild. I did report on the story, as you guys will see a little further on into this commentary, child. But before we get deep off into it, I just want to give Tasha K her props for facilitating this dialogue. It was fucking epic. She asked all of the hard questions. She even risked getting her ass kicked, because while Tasha K may have thought that that boot was gonna keep Brittany in her seat, you know, I was thinking to myself, girl, see, you know, maybe you think that Brittany is secular. You don't know what her relationship is to the Black Jesus. But let me tell you something about the way my bones work in proximity to the cornrowed, melanated, ashy, saggy pants Jesus that I serve, baby, is that if I would have needed to kick off in a bitch ass at that moment, baby, you best believe that my God does miracles, baby, and the Holy Ghost would have healed that broken foot just so that I could ram it deep off into Tasha K's ass. In an emergency ass whipping case, okay? Emergency ass whippings, baby. Sometimes us good Christian folk have to pull out an old nasty piece of an emergency ass whipping, baby. Okay, so a broken bone won't stop no true servant of God, baby. Okay, God specializes in temporary relief, baby. Okay, so this foot would have been healed for a good 15 minutes flat, baby. Holy Ghost would have gave me 15 minutes on your ass, baby, if necessary, baby. Okay, so don't ever get it twisted. None of y'all. Okay? Don't ever think you safe from an ass whipping. As long as the living God is in the earth, baby, there will always be a table turning ministry erected in the earth, sugar. Well, I'm going to go ahead and play this old nasty piece of intro, girl. If you new here, definitely give me a old nasty piece of subscribe. Everybody, please give me a thumbs up. Thumbing up helps with YouTube's algorithm. It helps YouTube to recommend the platform and the videos out into other unsuspecting YouTube patrons. Trio. Everybody need to make sure that they have the notification bell set to all and share. Now let's get into this old nasty piece of intro, girl. Then we're just going to proceed to giving people what the fuck they in fact do need. And I also want to say too, shout out to all of my PayPalers. Shout out to all of my Cash Appers. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to be calling y'all by name, okay? Going forward, girl. A bitch been so swamped with work that I have not had time to get into a lot of the things of the things, but I have been receiving you guys token of appreciation. I love you guys so much. And I also want to shout out my Patreon members as well. We will be having a nasty Patreon live tomorrow. Okay, in the Patreon, you guys will be notified. So make sure that you're checking your emails for your Patreon notification. That's all the church announcements, girl. That's all the church announcements. So let's just go ahead and get into it.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Burgundy. I'm looking to actually get another intro made because I want something a little bit more crunkish, something a little bit more ghetto, something a bit more Lil Jon and the East Side Boy, from the windows to the to the wall, to the sweat drip down them balls, you know, something that's real salacious, something that'll offend the hell out of people, okay? Something, just music that's just straight up offensive, child. So I'm gonna be working on some new shit. Now, I want to put up some articles for those of you who kind of been checked out and don't know what the fuck is going on. This is, once again, FTN Bae, who is also a rapper herself and a musician. She accused her boyfriend of 4 months, Doodie Lo, pretty well-known, sensationalized rapper himself, of sexually being inappropriate with her 5-year-old son, who testified on videos that you can find all up over the internet. Okay, but let's get into this whole nasty piece of shade room article so that I can give you guys an eloquent breakdown, and then we can get into the interview between them and Tasha K, and then we can drop the motherfucking line and you guys can sound off, because this shit is a wild, girl. It is fucking wild. Okay, where are we? Can I put me to the bottom? Where am I? Oh, okay. Well, maybe to the side. That's cute. Oh, okay. We'll do it. All right, girl. So this is from an old nasty piece of shade room. Y'all. And it reads, FTN Bae recently released an apology video directed at Doodie Lo. In the video, she explained that she believed her son's sexual assault accusations against Doodie. This is the reason she brought her Wesley story to social media, filed counter court documents, and took a lie detector test. However, in the latest development, FTN Bae said Doodie Lo forced her apology, okay? As previous, oh shit, my goddamn Wi-Fi, girl, scared the shit out of me, girl, my motherfucking Bluetooth mic, girl. Oh, girl. As previously reported, Doodie Lo also took and passed a lie detector test. In the apology video, FTN Bae said her son said he lied about the encounter. Quote, "It's done. It's over with. He passed his test. My son told the truth. I genuinely do feel bad. I just needed him to help me." She also stated he doesn't know why he said that he poops on himself. I don't know where that came from, she says. Soon after Doodie Lo accepted FTN Bae's apology, he told his followers he has a forgiving heart. Quote, "At the end of the day, I ain't gonna lie." Okay, talking in straight niggerment. "I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I forgive her. I forgive her. You feel me? I got a forgiving heart," Doodie Lo said. Quote, "It did fuck up some shit, but my kids, my family, my team, we went through a lot." Saying he wanted to clear his name, Doodie Lo stated, quote, "I just wanted to always show my innocence." Then FTN Bae's story changed. Quote, "My hand was forced making that live. I had no choice," FTN Bae wrote. Quote, "My son was questioned with David on the phone," who is Doodie Lo's first name, "and my son got scared and denied everything. If I didn't issue an apology, he would have released the audio and manipulated the story even more, and I'm genuinely tired." She continued on to say she was, quote, "backed into a corner." FTN Bae said her son entered her room in distress following her live video. He was crying and peed in his pants. Wesley also told his mother he was so scared and confused. Following the retraction statement, FTN released video and audio of a 3-year-old child named speaking. I said 3-year-old child named. I don't know what that even means. The child recalls a time when Wesley was apparently being chased by Doodie. FTN Bae asks what else, quote, he did to Wesley, and the child responds, he made him cry. The mother plans to continue pursuing this matter. Quote, "My son's nightmares are real," FTN Bae wrote. Quote, "What Alex said she saw is real. The trauma that my son deals with emotionally is real, and still stand with the kid no matter what that nigga do." FTN Bae said that Doodie was recording her son, but it's unclear at what exact point she means. In the same sentence, she says she was aware Wesley would recant his story out of fear. She also detailed that the entire incident had been a lot for her family. Nonetheless, she plans to work with police to fight for her child. Quote, my son lying in the face of the person who he's saying touched him is not far-fetched, because that's what happens today, FTN Bae wrote, quote, but to say my son and baby Alex are both lying and my son can describe specific details, no, okay? Come out specific. Okay, so that's from the shade room, girl. So from there, it got diabolical, bitch, because Tasha K brought Doodie Lo and FTN Bae into the studio, girl. Now, I jot down some notes, girl, because I want to keep it real quick and real cute, okay? So these are just some of the things that stood out to me and some of the things that, just some of my thoughts, okay? So FTN Bae says that she's very protective of her son, okay? She stressed this in an interview with Tasha K, okay? That, you know, she don't play when it comes to her son. If a boot wasn't on her motherfucking foot, she'd kick Tasha K all up in her motherfucking Adam's apple and shit, girl. Just, you know, real salacious shit. And she kept reiterating that, you know, she's a great mom. She's a great mom. She's a great mom. She's a great mom. I'm a great mom. I'm a great mom. I'm a great mom. There were times where she was in distress from this. And to be honest, when she kept reiterating how great of a mom she was, it seemed like she was saying this out of a place of actually being insecure about being a great mom, because great moms don't necessarily proclaim to be great moms 50 million 11 times. It's kind of a given. I don't know if because this situation played out on the internet, which she brought it to the internet, and it caused people to question her credibility. People probably made a lot of terrible fucking comments about her son and about herself, etc. Probably blamed her for all this happening if there was any truth to it. And so maybe that compacted in the situation just made her, you know, feel like she had to reiterate the goodness of her mothering skills. However, I have one question. You know, I would never question someone's parenting unless there is explicit abuse going on at the direct hands of the parent. But I don't know how you only dated Doodie Lo for 4 months, according to them. Okay, according to her, their relationship practically really wasn't shit because it all happened so fast. It was almost over as soon as it started. She didn't know Doodie Lo from a can of paint on the wall. She says that he DM'd her on Instagram, okay? And, you know, was hitting on her. And she said that her initial impression of Doodie Lo was that he was terrifying. Now, I'm going to say this. Considering the line of events that played out after they started dating, maybe what she felt was her intuition. And I'm not saying that her intuition was necessarily telling her that that the things that happen are true, but it seemed like something in her womanness built up some type of initial hell no. But she bypassed it, okay? Now, Doodie Lo may be quite innocent when it comes to this situation with this 5-year-old boy. But however, it seemed like the universe was trying to tell her, girl, this nigga just ain't good for you. This ain't what God got for you. So maybe down the line, it would have led to somebody cheating, some infidelity, a string of bitches. We already know what comes with that, with dating rapper ass niggas, okay? Girl, eventually your heart is going to be soured and spoiled. So something in her was just like, hell no from the jump. But she bypassed that. I always tell women, do not disregard your intuition. Whatever your first mind is, go with that shit. The mind of your pussy will never fail you, baby, okay? The mind in your brain maybe will, girl. But the mind down under, honey, she knows all. The divine feminine is eternal, baby. Don't nobody get nothing past her, honey. And the sooner that we all learn to be completely obedient to our intuitive selves, the more that we can live our lives like it's golden, baby. Because you know what? I got tired personally of not listening to my intuition, realizing that I always knew the way shit would fucking happen, but for whatever reason, I made decisions contrary to my psychic self, to my third eye, bitch, to the eye of Horus, girl, that was seeing all. And then I always had to come back and be like, okay, intuition, you did that, bitch. You did that. So I just got tired of having to say that and just started trying to live more from my intuition. And girl, my life has been so sweet. My life has been so much more prosperous, so much more blessed, and so much more stress-free, bitch. I feel like Prince Naeem up in this motherfucker. Like, everything a bitch touch turns to gold. I'm just salivating in the greatness and goodness. And I had a whole year, y'all, whole year and a half, girl, of listening to my intuition, and my life is phenomenal. Like, 2021 was one of the best years of my life, the best years of my 30s, and it has to do with being explicitly obedient to my intuition, baby. I listen from the inside. I make decisions based upon inner self, baby, higher self, baby, inner and overstanding, baby. Okay? Now, I ain't been perfect, okay? You work this discipline out, you know, for the rest of your life. But baby, I was obedient 90% of the time, baby. That's one hell of a success rate. So, FTN Bae, maybe when you felt that this nigga was scurry, honey, you should have scurried along, honey. Something in your woman parts was trying to let you know, girl, it was trouble ahead, whatever the hell that trouble was going to look like. Nonetheless, when she was saying that the relationship was so short-lived, it was practically meant nothing, but she's so protective of her son. I'm like, well, why did you leave your son in the custody of a man you only known and only been dating for 4 fucking months? Because that wouldn't have stood out to me had she not made so many proclamations about being such a good protective mom. So then where did that come into play at? Like, most of my homegirls don't even introduce their children to a nigga until like a year and a half in, and that's after dating, after courting, after first, second, and third base, after a strong commitment, no problems, a bitch ain't got hit upside her head yet, ain't been no other whore jumping out the woodworks, and then, baby, the reward is meeting the babies. So that kind of was just like weird to me, that you left both these children in the custody of a man you only known for 4 months that you met on fucking Instagram. Nonetheless, also, she wasn't making eye contact with Tasha K throughout the whole interview. This stood out to people. I'm going to tell you what I interpreted her lack of eye contact, baby. FTN Bae looked to the east, to the west, to the south, to the north, to all the way around, baby. At one point, she had no other directions to even stare into, so FTN Bae just decided to go ahead and close her motherfucking eyelids all together, girl, and talk to Tasha K. Tasha K at one point had to put the Hennessy down and say, "Bitch, is your eyes closed on? Is you talking to me with eyes wide shut, bitch?" And FTN Bae said, "Yeah." I believe that she couldn't look Tasha in her face because, to me, baby, the tension was so thick in that motherfucking studio that you could slice that shit with a very worn out butter knife, bitch. Okay, that was hard steak level tension, baby. I think FTN Bae hated Tasha K. I don't think FTN Bae wanted to be there. I don't think she respects Tasha K. I think, if anything, she holds a little resentment because she can see that Tasha K is on the side of Doodie Lo. And so she's already coming in defensive. She already don't appreciate the goddamn coverage, bitch. She want to slap this whole, body slam this bitch, kick her out of her own motherfucking house and get a restraining order against her ass. So she only seemed to be there, to me, to basically get ahead of the narrative. Okay, she was not there to get along with Tasha K. That was very much so clear, baby. Okay, and I saw FTN Bae. She kept wiggling that motherfucking boot, bitch. Like, okay, did God activate it yet? Because any moment now, bitch. Soon as I feel some flexibility in this boot, bitch, it's going right up Tasha's ass, baby. I kept seeing her wiggling, baby, seeing if God had put that anointing, if he downloaded that anointing just yet in the motherfucking boot, bitch. Boot activate. But the Lord didn't activate it, okay? So it just seemed like she really just despised Tasha K. Okay, bitch? She knew that this message was going to go viral. She damn sure wasn't going to let Doodie Lo come in and tell his motherfucking side only. She'd much rather be right there to insert what she felt to be the truth, okay? So I think that's why she wasn't looking Tasha K in the face, because it reminded her of how she wanted to wanted to beat Tasha K in the face, how she wanted to punch Tasha K in the face, how she wanted to drop kick Tasha K in the face. And if she just didn't look at the face, okay, she could keep that boot still, because that boot print wanted to be across Tasha K's motherfucking nose, bitch. Now, she went on, girl, to also talk about how the medical examination only did an x-ray, okay, because she said, look, y'all have a misunderstanding about the medical exam that sexual assault victims go through. She said they did not do any type of forensic testing on my son's rectum. They didn't stick no cameras inside of him. He wasn't probed from within. They didn't take any anal samples of anything, girl. That it was just a x-ray. And they spread his cheeks apart to visually analyze the area. But that was it, okay? But she said that nonetheless, that medical examination did come back clear that her son was deemed healthy. No metals or materials were found within her son, that, you know, none of the metals from the screws, etc. And that the case was declined by the district attorney because there wasn't a likelihood of conviction. And there wasn't a likelihood of conviction because there was, unfortunately or fortunately, hell, depending on whose side you're on, no evidence to support this assault. Now, she also said that the medical, or maybe she didn't, but Tasha K read the medical report, that the medical examination only did an x-ray, no forensic testing, blah, 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 blah. Oh, she also took him to a stomach doctor, and they told her that she would have only had a 3-week window for proper testing regarding the circumstance around the sexual assault and the screws. But because her son didn't tell her this allegedly until 3-4 months out, there was no way or nothing that this doctor or these doctors can do for her regarding those circumstances. The window had closed. She only had a 2-week window from the time he was assaulted to get him examined, to extrapolate anything that could have substantiated these allegations. So it was a dub, okay? Now, she also had passed a lie detector test. Her and Doodie Lo had both took a lie detector test. Doodie Lo even went to the same lie detector testing company that she went to, you know, just make sure, you know, ain't no bullshit going on. She passed her lie detector test. What that means is that she believes what her son told her. That's what her lie detector test confirms, is that she believes her son. Okay? But in the interview, she says that despite the apology video and despite her recanting her statements, and regardless of her stating that her son did in fact lie about the whole ordeal, that she still believes him, that she still believes her son, irregardless of the medical examination coming back clear, irregardless of Doodie Lo's lie detector test also coming back clear. He also passed his lie detector test. Okay? That despite even her son saying that he didn't know why he said this, why he made this up, boom, 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 she still believes this, which is really crazy because the only evidence she has to support this allegation is the fact that her son was having nightmares. And that's how she initially even became aware that something was going on with him, because he was having nightmares that reflected the situation that the son was alleging took place between himself and Doodie Lo. She's going off of a nightmare. And that nightmare was built upon, extrapolated, re-narrated, colorfully projected into, etc. Very unfortunate shit, right? Now, it goes on to say that when Tasha K asked her about the video where she admitted her son lied, she said she can't talk about it. It'll come out in court because allegedly Doodie Lo is going to be suing the fuck. He's going to sue the F, the T, and the motherfucking N off of Bae's name. She's only going to be Bae by the time he's done with her ass. I'm assuming that she will be filing a counterclaim and a countersuit against his ass. So she was telling Tasha that this will all come out in the court. She don't want to talk about it here. Because David started showing her love. She said the reason why she made the video is because there was a 4-hour-long phone call between her and David. On this motherfucking phone call, David was showing her love, saying he missed her, etc. She fell for it. And she also got her son to come into the room where David and the 5-year-old can hear each other through speaker, and got her son to recant his statements on the phone with Doodie. Okay? And he happened to have had he was around a bunch of his peers and friends. And after this confession or recanting of the statement took place, she says that David began to call her all type of bitches, and she's a crazy bitch, and I told y'all she was lying, and she just bitter that I ain't want her. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? And this phone call is very interesting to me because this is, well, before I get into that, let me just go ahead and finish, okay? When she said why she made the apology video, and she kind of hinted to some of the shit that took place in the conversation, I was saying to myself, or thinking to myself, that conversation probably was, of course, just like she admitted that initially she had made a phone call to him and she had softened up because she wanted to record him confessing to what her son alleged Doodie did to him. Doodie Lo had pulled the reverse Uno card and did the same thing to her. Called her up, made sure he had eyewitnesses on the phone. At this point, the medical examination has come back clear. At this point, his lie detector test had come back clear. At this point, the story was getting weird. It was changing. And Doodie Lo decided, I'm going to call, be real nice to her, tell her how much I just hate that, we had to go through this. Boom, 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 boom. Because all the evidence now is on Doodie Lo's side. And I believe that he started hinting to her, like, my people want me to sue you. This really did a lot to my reputation, to my brand. I missed out on deals. I missed out on sponsorship. And, I have a really big case against you. It'll be a clear-cut win or whatever. I don't even want to do that with you. So, I mean, if we can just clear this shit up now, and you can just put it out to the people that none of this shit happened, maybe even get, Junior to, make a statement or whatever, then we can just put this shit behind us and pow, 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 pow. At this point, this made logical sense to FTN Bae, in my opinion, despite her believing her motherfucking son, because at the end of the day, she ain't got hundreds of thousands and millions of fucking dollars to come out of her pocket to pay to a nigga. At this point, all the evidence is on his side. The likelihood of her fucking winning a counterclaim is little to motherfucking none. And it would so he gave her an ultimatum. She had options now. Get sued, ruin your life, ruin your credit. Also, my name gets vindicated out here in these streets. You look crazy and you lost bags and bags and bags to the bullshit. Or she could stand 10 toes down in her conviction about believing her son and let it cost her whatever it needed to cost her as a result of just staying loyal to what she truly believed happened between her son and Doodie Lo. And it seems that FTN Bae decided to take the way out and to have her son recant the statement. She fell for the okie dokie. And the very thing she was trying to avoid not happening is happening any goddamn way because it was all a goddamn setup from the fucking beginning. Woo! Deep shit. Now, here's my thing. Because I heard why FTN Bae thought that going to the internet was a good idea. She said that pretty much, you know, she don't have family. She don't have nobody to turn to. She don't, you know, have support like that. And she was scared and she was terrified. And her son at this point is pooping, having nightmares, experiencing some type of PTSD, some type of fucking trauma that's playing out through, you know, his body and his sleep. And it's a lot going on. So she, and because she believed this happened, even before there was some objective conclusions, at least around the medical examination, at least around the lie detector test, she already had done jumped the fucking gun and got out here, putting everything out. She got ahead of herself. And her excuse was, I didn't want this to happen to another woman. Because had this happened before and some other woman had came out and spoken out, maybe I, FTN Bae, would have definitely not entertained Doodie Lo if some other woman had spoken out before I was introduced to him. So that was her reasoning for kind of getting out there prematurely on social media, is trying to keep this from happening to other kids and other women with kids. Now, before I tell y'all what I think, I appreciate Tasha standing her ground. She put FTN Bae out her motherfucking house or studio, kicked her right out, baby, but soon as the clip was over, baby, FTN Bae was already in the Uber, bitch. Already on to the airport, baby. Tasha didn't let the girl go back to the hotel to get into her shit. Tasha K put her right on the plane with the boot and a blouse on, baby. Didn't even let the girl carry her shit to the airport, baby. Just sent her right on yonder, bitch. The only thing I would have wanted, maybe Tasha K to do a little bit more of, because this is what I was experiencing as I was watching this, is I would have wanted Tasha, I think her and FTN's Bae energy would have been a lot better, and maybe more deep diving could have happened if FTN Bae didn't feel that Tasha K already had chosen a side. Because this put FTN Bae on the defense. That's why she was fighting with Tasha the whole way. And it's hard to feel solid about what you're saying when you're speaking to somebody who you believe already has made up their mind. So it was very awkward. But I wish that Tasha, just for hypothetical purposes, just for the sake of like facilitating an atmosphere that a lot more information could have came out, is I wish she would have just put herself hypothetically in FTN Bae's shoes. Like, I wish she just would have thought to herself, like, okay, if I'm FTN Bae and my child has said this to me under these exact same circumstances, my child is saying one thing, but the evidence isn't holding up. But my child that I carried for 9 months, that I've raised up until 5 years old, said something like this to me. But there was no evidence. What type of headspace would any of us be in as parents or guardians. Because I can understand the complexity of a situation like this. I actually think that it's pretty fucked up that FTN, like, right? So here it is. People feel FTN Bae lied. We don't know. What we do know is that her son told her something. And apparently, her son also kind of ratted her out when investigators asked, was he coerced or did he have help in coming up with this? And he said his mommy. Now, I know what that sounds like. It sounds like literally what the fuck it sounds like. Coercion. It sounds like the bitter ex narrative trying to destroy, trifling nigga. Fine. However, we are talking realistically about a 5-year-old. Of course, a 5-year-old would need help understanding their reality. They're 5 fucking years old. Hell, I have to help 30 fucking year old people admit the damn truth. Like, I have to help grown ass niggas. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. So of course, a 5-year-old is incapable of articulating this experience, especially if there is also emotional distress and all these other things playing in, a 5-year-old brain. Crazy situation. Of course, as a mom, she was working through it rationally because initially her 5-year-old son had blamed it on another child, but that child was 3 years old at the time. So of course, rationally, Brittany knew, well, it couldn't be that person. That person can't weld, a 3-year-old cannot weld screws together, insert them up your rectum. And that's just that takes a level of lucidity and mental maturity to intentionally do. That can even accidentally happen. I mean, when was the last time that a 3-year-old even accidentally put a goddamn screw up another child's rectum? It's just not even something that happens by accident. So if her son had in fact told her this because he's having nightmares and he's seeing Doodie in his nightmares and he's now recounting a event, etc. Brittany is exploring that. She's going through the process of fucking elimination. Well, it can't be 3-year-old. The only other person is Doodie. Is it Doodie? The son eventually says yes. Now, where Brittany fucked up at is she did not explore other reasons for this. Because what her 5-year-old son could have been recounting is not, in fact, an actual encounter or experience with Doodie Lo. Her 5-year-old son could have simply been having nightmares around violence between him and Doodie Lo. If Brittany felt Doodie Lo was a scary person initially, maybe her son also was just initially terrified. I mean, he got this bald ass head. He looks like Doodie Lo. Okay, shit. Maybe the goddamn son had some fear visually. I don't know. How his brain processed that. It's a complicated thing. But Brittany immediately jumped to assuming that this had to be physical. And it could have been possible that this was something that was happening in his mind for other reasons. Maybe he was misinterpreting nightmares. I have dreams about shit that has never happened. I have dreams about shit about people I don't fucking know. I have dreams about people I do know where I'm in situations that would never fucking occur in all reality. There just wasn't enough exploration around the other possibilities. Brittany did what any other, I guess, average person would do. She just jumped to conclusions. I mean, as a mother, a single mother, I'm assuming that would be a nervous wrecking situation. You'll be shocked to hear something like that. Your brain goes into some type of arrested, suspended animation type shit. Okay? So, and here's another really difficult truth. Okay? And probably a difficult truth for those who believe that Doodie Lo is innocent. To Brittany's point, I'm not saying that this happened or didn't happen. It does not sound like something that in fact happened. All the medical and lie detecting tests is on Doodie Lo's side. I have to accept that. And I have to let the man remain innocent until proven guilty. This situation was not proven, the burden of proof was not met on behalf of Brittany. So, irregardless of whether this in fact happened in reality, the investigation, the lie detector test, the DA saying, look, you don't have a case here. Doodie Lo is innocent. But to Brittany's point, she's also correct that because she wasn't made aware of this until months after the fact, if this had in fact actually occurred, by the time she jumped in it and got the ball rolling, took him to the doctor, took him to the stomach doctor, etc., all the evidence would have been washed away. That's unfortunate. Would the verdict be looking different had that 2-week window been what it was? We don't know. Would they have found whatever? We don't know. I also was questioning, since she got her son medically examined, I wonder if she also got the screws themselves examined. Because I don't recall her mentioning that she also submitted the screws in for forensic testing, because if those screws went into him, just like those metals would be found on him, his DNA would have been found on the screws, unless in both cases, there was only a 2-week window. I know that the body does its own cleansing and clearing out of shit. I don't know if that would have been the same for a screw left out in Mother Nature, if all that evidence would have withered away as well. I think the situation is fucked up for everybody involved, because Doodie Lo can be innocent and is innocent according to the investigation this far. But something happened, allegedly, to this 5-year-old, whether it's something that happened in reality or something that happened in his imagination. And Brittany is stuck in between all of that reality. The whole situation is fucked up. I had first reported on the story. Let me pull up my screen here. I had pulled up, is this it? Okay, yeah, let me share this. So I had reported on the story back in, what's the date on this video? Back in October 31st, Halloween, basically. I did when the story had hit and the videos had hit and everything, I reported on this shit. And I remember saying in that commentary that I was going to wait until more had happened, because at that point, everybody was really kind of on Brittany's side. Because most people are going to be polarized when they hear, something like this. We know that people are sexually abused. We know that children are sexually assaulted. These are things that are making headwaves every single fucking day, where some boyfriend, some husband, hell, even the women, some mom, some auntie done been explicit and sexually violated a nephew, a niece, a neighbor. You know, this is now a running theme in our society. So it was easy for a lot of people to initially jump on the bandwagon to believe this because of the state of the world we're living in. It's fucked up right now on planet Earth. And on top of that, this is a woman. And women do have the advantage in situations like this. A single mom, single black female with child, you know, that alone warrants a certain level of empathy. And then we know how trifling these niggas is. Okay? And once again, these stories are frequent at this point of the boyfriend sexually abusing and even sometimes murdering the child, the woman's child, the girlfriend's child. There was just a story that happened a few months ago of a boyfriend who had sexually assaulted an 8-month-old girl, maybe even younger, completely ripped her vaginal area apart, killed her. The experience killed her. The fucking father not the father, the boyfriend then tried to cover up the death and put the dead child in a tub full of ice cold water. I don't know why. Then wrapped the child up in a blanket, put the child back in the fucking cradle. Mom comes home, sees her child wrapped up, and then boom. It happens all the time. It's wild shit. So these are situations that can be real. Now, this is also why we have investigations to determine the validity of claims and allegations like this. While these situations can occur, situations like this can occur and the man actually be innocent as well. But too often times, we don't hear those narratives of the man being innocent. I mean, maybe that's the fault of media. They only put out the stories where the men are found guilty. So this conditions us to assume that 9 times out of 10, when shit like this is alleged, that it's probably fucking true. So I think the media needs to do a better fucking job at also highlighting the stories where these things are alleged by the child, by the mother, by whomever, and a man is exonerated, because it creates a disproportionate thought and perception right off the rip and right off the back. But in this particular video, I said, look, I'm going to wait. Because something like this either is true or it ain't true. I'm not going to jump the bandwagon, especially with everything that I've been fucking dealing with. Because I was covering a lawsuit where there was a plethora of fucking allegations that were not true. So at the point that I did this video, I was very aware, baby, that something like this can in fact not be true. I'm almost grateful to have been so actively a part of the lawsuit I was a part of in terms of covering the lawsuit and covering the investigation, because it taught me a lot about the necessity for empirical fucking evidence. It also taught me a lot about how quick it is for us as human beings to make assumptions that we will project onto situations like this. Maybe we have been victimized ourselves, so we project that into a situation. Maybe we also find Doodie Lo scary in some way, so it's easy to witch hunt him. That's also historical. That odd-looking people have never had the luxury of being believed when they were accused of something. Maybe there was a murder that happened in the town. Maybe there was a string of bad luck. And the weirdo in the community was always blamed and witch hunted against. You know, there's so much that happens to the psychology when it comes to shit like this. It gets crazy. So, once again, it's an unfortunate situation. Do I think that Brittany is a bitter ex? No, I don't. I don't think Brittany will put her son through something like this off the strength of a nigga. Maybe if she had a history of doing this, a history of like retaliating against exes, a history of going ballistic, maybe. but it just doesn't seem that that was the case. And I think her not having the proper support system in place made a bad situation even worse. She made some premature decisions that are completely understandable, but you know, the consequences thereof. And her lie detector test did prove and validate that she believes her son. It is what she believes. But by the time this all played out, baby, between threatening, between the medical examination coming back clear, lie detector test coming back clear on Doodie Lo's part, and him being in a position to pursue a civil suit against her ass, she bit the bullet. My question to you guys is, if you guys were in Brittany's shoes, what would you have done? And if you had the opportunity to not be sued behind this, considering that all the evidence is on the man's side, would you have just stood 10 toes down and got sued and dealt with all of that, coupled with what social media was going to hang your ass up on the cross? Or would you have stuck beside the testimony or what you perceived of the testimony of your 5-year-old son? I'm going to drop the link and allow you guys to come up. Mods, if you can circulate the stream, I'm really curious to know what people think or what you guys really think about this, because I just think this is a fucked up ass situation on all parts. I can see how everybody in this situation can be innocent. It's such a convoluted, complex, it's so much going on. That is understandable why this shit looks the way that it does. Let me get the link. Let me stop sharing the screen first. Let me get the motherfucking link. The motherfucking side effects. I'm gonna put the StreamYard link. What about roommate? What about the roommate? Lisa, I didn't hear about a roommate, so maybe you guys can tell me about a roommate. I just posted the link, you guys. And you don't have to show yourself. Nobody's going to see you on StreamYard. I opened up a separate StreamYard so you guys can just be audio. So this will help people who are nervous about coming on the StreamYard and shit. You ain't got to worry about your camera slipping, because even if it does, nobody will see you. Nobody will see the camera slipping, nothing like that. We have C. Marie, my mod. Hey, boo.
Hey, CTV. Hey, chat.
What's going on, love? Let me make sure that everybody can hear you first. Can you guys hear C. Marie, you guys? If you guys can hear her, please press 1.
Can you hear me?
If you guys can hear her. I want to make sure that you guys can hear her. Hey, Lady Royale. Hey, boo. Oh, hold on. Stay right. Stay right there, Miss C. Marie. Okay, stay right there. Okay. You in the background. Check your DMs. I need to send you the direct link to this. Hold on. Let me send this to you. Because I'm curious. I'm glad you're here because I want to know what... help it out. I need to know what happened after she fucking left, honey. I got questions and things. Hold on. Let me get something real quick, you guys. Hold on. I need to send a direct message. Check your message. Backdrop. I just sent you another link. Hold on, guys. I think. Check your Instagram DM, boo. So you can pop up. Hold on, you guys. We're waiting for improv guests to pop up. Okay. Baby mother to the stage. What's going on, Miss?
You could have let that girl talk. I just literally saw you reviewing
Yes.
the show, and I appreciate that.
Which was amazing. Like I was blown. The shit blew me.
Thanks.
That was wild, and I appreciate your passion. So to tell, like, what don't I know? Like, what don't I know about what played out? Like, because I think this is a fucked up situation, Tasha, between them. It seems more complicated than black and white, but maybe you know shit I don't.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me though? Because sometimes,
Yes.
like,
If
okay,
you guys can hear Tasha K, please give me a 1 in the stream, please.
I can tell you this. And I think I put this on my live, but the day before she made that video, she was on the phone with him, and her son was on the phone with him, and they were discussing getting back together. So once she made the apology, he really thought about everything. He was like, you know what? Because he's always spoken highly of her. He's like, she's a sweet person. I just think that she has some mental issues. He just called her and said, you know what? It ain't gonna work. So that's when she made that video and was like, he manipulated me. And she felt like by them entertaining getting back together, that was a way of him manipulating her to. But why would you allow a man that you said that molested your son talk to your son on the phone and entertain him getting back with you, to the point where you got on live and she was, you know, best dressed. She had all of her nails done, you know, and she, you know, she was swept off her feet.
What? So what do you make of the lawsuit part? Do you think that that was a reasonable thing for her to consider?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like, in terms of her recanting, you know, the story, she is alleging that she was, you know, that she was threatened with a lawsuit and
No, she
Doodie
wasn't.
Lo.
Lawsuit is filed.
Oh, it's okay. So
It's
it's
filed.
out,
The
right?
paperwork
So lawsuit's
already in
filed.
the federal lawsuit. Yeah.
Now, if your funds set up like FTN Bae and the evidence is on the side of the man, and the man is saying, "Hey, if you recant this, we can dead this because my people telling me to sue you." I think that's enough to make anybody. I mean, that's a tough situation to be in.
If somebody touched a child, whether they're suing or not, the only thing that goes against defamation is the truth. So you worried about spending money on a lawsuit and it's considering taking back a man that you say violated your son. Come on.
But that's because all the evidence is on the side of the man anyway.
Well, I mean, yeah, because he didn't do shit. You know how kids go through a lying phase?
Yeah.
He's got, I mean, for him to tell the police officer that his mama let him stay home, it was a lot in that police report. I got the whole police investigation, but it was more. But that one where he was like, my mommy lets me stay home by myself and cook macaroni and cheese on the stove. At 5, he telling people that you letting him stay home by himself and cook on the stove?
Now, she alleged that that wasn't true, but I actually believe he told the truth because you left your son in the custody of a man who you only known for 4 months. So what else could be?
But he didn't even leave the son. The son was with her roommate. It was Doodie Lo was only sleeping. She never left them together alone. But from my understanding, however, this tequila working through me now, so I'm trying to remember. But for the most part, she what did she do? I forgot my train of thought though, because I've been drinking. This is my second drink, but for the most part, yeah, it was all a bunch of the macaroni.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question.
Macaroni and cheese, like I believe that because at 5, I was making hot dogs in the microwave. Bitch, I had ramen noodles in the microwave with a fork, with no water, blowing up the motherfucking microwave. And so she travels a lot. And so I believe absolutely 100% he was making macaroni and cheese on the stove by himself. Shit, I used to watch a little girl, she's grown now, but I used to watch her and her mama let her cook hot dogs on the stove and the hot dogs fucking boiled over and burnt her whole chest and CPS almost took her from my mama. We cook. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So let me ask you this question, because you're a mom yourself. If you was literally in her position, what would you be thinking? Your child is telling you this. There's no evidence to support it. So how would you have dealt with this if this was your exact scenario?
a good question. I don't know because my children have never came to me and said anything like that. But of course, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a good example. Wow, this is big. So my best friend's daughter, man, this is hard. She moved here from Washington to attend Spelman.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to medical school. I mean, she comes from a very good family. I mean, her family's paying for Spelman out of pocket for the medical program, and her mom left her in my care, but she was living in the dorms. And so I would check on her, but I knew she was in school first semester, and this happened recently. And let me tell you, and so I'm calling her to check on her, and she would call me and say, Auntie, because she calls me Auntie, even though she's not my sister's baby, but, me and her mom have been best friends for like 23 years. When I was homeless, that's how I met her mom. She gave me a place to stay one time. And so that's when we got close. But she, I knew this girl since she was 3 years old. And so, actually 2, because I used to take her to baby. I used to take her to fucking, yeah. So, to make a long story short,
it's like a goddaughter to you, basically. It's like a goddaughter, like to you, like a godmother.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you she's a goddaughter so much, that I was really like, I'm gonna get to that part, but like it came to a point where I was about to lose it all because I was gonna floor her ass. Like I'm talking about, like I was going to knock her the fuck out because she was on Tinder and telling us that, her grades are good. She's got me calling the school because she ain't got no AC in her fucking room. And she, nails done, fucking lashes, goddamn 3 inches, 6 inches off her face. Just a lot of shit that I didn't see, like when she, but I thought maybe she was just going through a phase. So she gets on Tinder, she meets a guy, this little boy, he's African. He comes from a very good family. He's in school, he's working full time. And so one day I'm at Flame Monroe's show. Flame Monroe had a comedy show with Charlemagne's network, Charlemagne the God's network. And I'm in the middle of the show and I get a call from her mom. She's like, I really need you, because her mom is in Washington. She said, I need you to go check on my baby. I said, what's wrong? She said, she's been raped. I said, what? She hadn't been in Atlanta a month. Right? So we get up, I lead the show. I felt bad because Flame really put us in some good seats and wanted us there for support. And I was like, I gotta go. And I was just engulfed in tears. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like, she left her in my care. Like, so I'm like, how the fuck did she get raped? So we get to the house and she's kind of out of it. So we get her, I get her clothes. I said, get the clothes that you had on. I take her immediately to the hospital. The rape happened the night before. And we get to the hospital. I couldn't stay, of course, because it was COVID. And I had to just wait all night till she, they transfer her from one center to another to the trauma center. Well, to make a long story short, she, the police got an investigation. Well, something just told me to reach out to the boy because she said she didn't have no information on the boy. She didn't know his last name. So I was like, what's your social media? I'm a entertainment news before I find out anything on anybody. So I was like, I got it, don't worry about it. So I ended up reaching out to him and I was like, hey, I played like I knew him. I was like, aren't your parents African? My husband African. And he ended up giving me all of his information. He's a kid, right? So I ended up giving that over to the detective. The detective called him and, he was cool. But something just told me to get on the phone with him. And he ended up calling me. He was like, well, he didn't call me. He hit me in the DM. He was like, I need to talk to you. He was like, I had a detective call me and I see that you follow this person. So can I talk to you? So I was like, sure. He's 19, right? And so I was like, this is bold. Like, if you did something, why the fuck are you asking? He was, do you know this person? I was like, yeah. He was like, so did you reach out and get my information to give over to the police for this person? I was like, yeah. He was like, and she said that I raped her? And I was like, yeah. And I said, did you? He was like, no. Right? Of course he's gonna say no. So this is my niece. This is my baby. I've known her since she was a baby.
Right.
Like, listen, when my niece ain't gonna fucking make up no lie like this, like she told me the story, bits and pieces or whatever, and had her friend tell me the story because she was still traumatized. And he was like, no, ma'am. Like, I need to talk to her now. And I'm like, no, you're not talking to her. Fuck out of here. So I was like, tell me your side of the story. So he went through his side of the story verbatim. like didn't stutter. So I just sat on that story, and it was a detail in the story, and it didn't make sense with her detail, because I'm like, you said he got in your car, and you had on pants, but she said he ripped off the pants, and I'm like, but your pants weren't ripped. So it was kind of a detail that, and so I'm talking to her mom, and her mom was like, I don't know what to think. So then he was like, can I come see you? So I said, come on over, And so he came over, and he was like, can you please tell my parents? Because he's about to get arrested at this point. And so something just told me to call my niece, and I called her, and her story, she could not remember shit. I was like, but you said this happened. She was like, yeah, I know, but it's vague. I kind of felt like it was an out-of-body experience. Like, she starts like making up all this shit. And I was just like, did he really do this? I felt like he did. I was like, what do you mean you felt? Well, stop, and he stopped. And I was like, so that's not rape. Like, I said, that's not rape. Like, if you told him to stop and he stopped, and his story matched too, he said his dick got soft, so he had to stop. You see what I'm saying? So, and I was like, do you know what the fuck you've done? And she was just like, he did that to me. And I was like, no, there's a difference between you fucking somebody and you regret fucking them.
Right. Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Absolutely. Like, girl, I've been there. Me and your mama used to run the streets together. Girl, like, there's a difference. Like, you fuck a buster. But I met the young man. He comes from a very, very good family. And I was like, your mama has worked hard for everything. Her mom fucking, like, is dominating in the business world. I'm talking about millions a year. And, like, you are fucking her up, because she basically created all of this because she was failing in school, straight Fs. She didn't know how to say that. So she basically made up this
a distraction.
Go home because she was sleeping all day because she was depressed. So she used him as the fall guy, pretty much. So I've been through that before. And when she stood in my house, it took everything for me not to knock the fuck out of her. I was going to drop her in my house. Yeah. Because I'm like, you don't understand. Like, and she's still denying it. But I'm like, you don't even fucking remember. You weren't drunk. You weren't high. How the fuck you don't remember? You see what I'm saying? Like, nobody knock you out. Like, you're lying. And you're lying because your mama's paying all this fucking money for school, and you fucking fail. You didn't go to one class. Her fucking roommate told us she slept all day. Yeah. And I'm like, you gonna ruin this boy's life? Like, and you know how that saying is, misery loves company. But I was in that situation, and I literally told her, I said, you better be thankful I got a lot to lose, because if not, your ass would have been laid out right here on my floor. So that's how I dealt with it. And I mean, you have to take these things because, like, I don't know. I was just
look. So, Tosh, I did a show a few months ago called The Dark Side of the Me Too Movement, where I ran down cases that had happened over the past 20 years where women had alleged all type of shit against fraternity members, against men on the campus. And it was shocking at the level of lying that these women would do just because they were rejected, or just because they needed a cover story for something else, or just because, and literally destroyed men's lives in the process. Like, men lost their endorsements, lost their scholarships, lost the respect of their it was all because of something that was not even fucking true. And some of the details of what these women allege happened were so detailed that you would assume this had to have happened, because how can you lie to this extent? So let me ask you this question. So you absolutely believe that, so you believe Brittany made this shit up? That's what
I don't believe she made it up. I believe her son told her something, and she dug. And, when we're talking to kids, and the video that she did where she was like, we can't say that it's Alex, because he eventually said that it was his 3-year-old cousin that put the screws in him. First, he fell on a stick. He fell on a screw, but then it changed to Alex, the 3-year-old, put the screws in him. Like, we can't say that it's Alex. That's bad. We can't say that. It's not good to lie on Alex. And so he just thought David. You You see what I'm saying? So that's when you, bitch, you fucking touch my, and so.
And because they were already broken up, of course, this kind of
Yeah,
would inform her
yeah,
belief in, oh
yeah.
God, that's a lot.
So like instead of her using common sense, you know, and so she came down to read me because she was upset at the type of interview. Listen, I've been molested. I've been violated by guys before. I've been raped, but I've been sexually harassed or whatever. But I have no dog in this fight, but I do see countless men's lives ruined over allegations. And I'm like, everybody has told you this was not real. And we're talking about nails in your baby. And let me tell you something, like, as someone who grew up with their parents checking them and washing them, because 5-year-olds can't wash their own ass. How is it that your son is having diarrhea and you don't know that he has blood or has been penetrated? Like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
And 5-year-olds can't wipe their ass.
Right.
So you took him to the doctor 2 months later? Like, girl, come the fuck. There's no fucking way this nigga fell on screws and he was still alive, because it could have punctured his colon and he would be dead. Fuck out of here. No, like, I was just like, girl, I knew that was far-fetched. So she was like, you called me a lie? I said, no, I said that story was far-fetched. I'm like, at the time, I'm thinking maybe something did happen to him, but it wasn't no motherfucking screws in the ass and no diarrhea as a result. And you as a parent saying, he said he saw blood, but you never saw no blood, so you ain't washing your 5-year-old kid's ass? Come on now. I washed my daughter when she was 8 years old.
If he was bleeding, then I mean, he also would have had soreness and tenderness. He would have been obviously uncomfortable. It would have brought attention to that area.
In the ass. You understand? I'm sorry to be cussing like this on your channel, but that shit ain't something you just fucking get over. It hurts for days.
Yeah.
You can't get around that shit.
Look.
I even had that experience. I was in the fucking doctor. The fuck? He's fine. Like, and we're talking about nails. And they tested the nails. Nails would have DNA. There's no DNA on the nails. So then she was like, it's not nails, it's his penis.
No. If it was his fucking penis, your son would be ruptured. Not exactly
what I said. Like grown man's penis. And 2 months later, you said, I was just like, girl, come on. Like, I know that you want to believe this, but your son's got a vivid imagination. And he never mentioned penis. And then he's having dreams of a man chasing him with a knife. And then the 3-year-old, Alex, says that she saw him running around the house naked. First of all, he was never alone with your kids. Your roommate was always there. So when was he able to run around the house naked with your kids?
Okay, so what's this? So then, because I remember initially in the video, she said that there was nobody else in the house but the 2 children and Doodie Lo.
That's not true. That's not true. I have a recording with her roommate who she fell out with behind this.
Then it's a guy.
She said that David. Okay, so FTN had a show in Tampa, so she would do appearances or whatever. Doodie was catching a flight, but he missed his flight, so he came back to the house to go to sleep. The roommate was there watching the kids. Doodie wasn't even watching the kids because he had to fly out and do a show. So he slept for 2 hours and got up and went and caught another flight. He was not there alone this particular night that she's talking about. Because I have her roommate on recording. I was there. She left the kids in my, and of course she don't want to say nothing because it looks like child neglect on her part, but she's like, I was there, but I didn't see anything happen.
Did she ever produce the footage of her son burying the screws on the surveillance and shit?
I said, where is it? I don't have it. She's like, obviously it was a lie anyway. So that's what she said on the couch. I was just like, okay. She came in on 10, on 1,000. She was shaking, just sitting there on my couch like, I'm like, you okay? Yeah. Like she was already turned up.
What made you comfortable enough to want to interview her in person? Like, what made you? Because I mean, like you wasn't afraid she was going to go all the way left between y'all.
I ain't afraid of nobody. So like, the girl gonna pop off, you gonna pop off. The view's gonna speak for itself. You pop off on me, please do it. So, but for the most part, like I wanted to do it on camera because she lied on camera, and I wanted to make an example out of her. If you lied, this is going public. The same way you lied is the same way people gonna drag you for motherfucking lying. And so when the next bitch decides she want to be bitter and get up and fucking tell fables, she gonna think twice about it. Because guess what? Like, I'm an advocate for both men and women, and motherfuckers out here be lying.
They do. I feel like she definitely jumped so far ahead. Even if this was something that her son had told her, she didn't consider the repercussions of just jumping out there before any empirical evidence aside from him having nightmares and her.
And then she got on the internet to say her son lied. Bitch, I would never get on the internet to say my son lied. What the fuck? Guess what? This shit just gonna go away.
Yeah.
Obviously, four lies. So, I mean, I didn't expect for it to go.
What was her expectation coming in to see you? Like, was she under the impression that what? That
the moment I called her, I ain't finna come on your show to be dragged. I said, ain't nobody gonna drag you. Like, literally. I didn't drag her. Listen, it's hard to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I did not. 45 minutes. I'm letting the girl go in. So I'm like, okay, you just want to use my platform to get your narrative out. Just do the same shit you did on your Instagram. Not today. You're going to answer these questions. So she didn't know I had all the shit that I had. And that's why I put every receipt in the video. Okay, so the police said there was no DNA. There was no signs of penetration. Not one object.
All right. What was the conversation? So, because that shit got so heated, what happened after the camera stopped rolling? What was the outro like?
Man, the girl was just, I didn't know if she was crying or yelling. I swear. I was like, are you crying? But I couldn't see no tears. So my husband, he sees cute little girl. He's like, Tasha, leave her alone. I said, I ain't even fucking do nothing. I swear to God. I was like, God damn. Because he was in the room and he plays like this flight game all the time. So he'll put on his headphones and once he get all the cameras started, he'll just get on his game. So he didn't know what was going on. And Jasmine had to go in there and be like, stop the interview. So when they came out, I was like, hold up. You know, that's when I was getting ready to kick her out anyway, because she just wouldn't fucking, you know what I'm saying? So he just was like, leave her alone. I'm like, leave. I ain't even fucking do that. Like, he just saw, you know, he a man. He see a bitch crying. He like, stop.
Yeah.
I'm fucking crying. So he didn't know the story, right? He was just like, that's her story. If she believes that, she believes that. I was like, see, that's how y'all niggas be getting caught the fuck up. I said, that's Lo get caught the fuck up, okay? Because he fell for the bitch, right? You falling. I said, that's cool, right? So when he saw the receipts, he was like,
bye.
Because he was like, we've never had an interview go like this. So he's thinking like, maybe I'm angry or something. I was like, when have I ever been unprofessional in an interview? Come on now. Like, he fucking, because she was just so done. Like, he was just like, what the fuck? Go. Like, he put his hand, he's like, go, let me talk to her. And I'm like, and Jasmine trying to talk to her. I'm like, bitch, I went live. I was like, this hoe ain't finna say my husband put hands on her. Or somebody put in this studio. So I was like, live. I already knew where it was going.
Tasha, your ass, that interview should qualify you to be on syndicated television as Judge K, because the way you rounded that verdict out with them goddamn red bottoms and you said, Brittany, I would like you to leave her. I said, baby, somebody put Tasha K in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, bitch. She just slayed that shit. You had such a conviction behind.
It hurt me because, like, I have a son, I have a husband, I have uncles, I have my dads, you know, and men lose everything, not off of the conviction, but off of the public allegation. And I said, and I knew, I was like, this. Now, there's a lot of bitches I see out here lying, but I ain't got no proof. But I knew, I said, this bitch is capping. She capping hard. And it's ridiculous. And so I didn't even have plans on interviewing her. It wasn't until after I sat with Doodie Lo and I talked to the roommate. And I'm like, but she said he was there by himself. And the roommate was like, no, I was there. I was watching the kids. Doodie Lo went and caught a flight. When she left, he left to go to the airport. So he missed his flight and then came back and got some sleep and left again. So I'm like, well, when did the baby get touched? He was like, I don't know. He was in my care. I mean, he started acting different that night, but Doodie Lo wasn't alone with him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the lie detector test, that's a big one.
Yes.
But let me get to that. So the lie detector guy only asked her general questions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe it was something like, it was so general, it wasn't specific about this sexual assault allegations? Like,
Mm-hmm.
your son got touched. She's like, yeah. So of course, if you believe it, your lie detector test is gonna come out right. Are you this? It wasn't really specific questions, but Doodie Lo's questions were very specific. Did you penetrate this little boy? Did you touch this little boy? Did you prey on this little boy? So I had it, and she would not. She fucking. This ain't. I'm like, but you've seen these questions. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. And you know the differences between your test. Your test was a general test. His specific.
Yeah. I don't think she knew that.
And the reason
I think she had a GED understanding.
And she didn't publish them because he didn't publish them because he's using them in the defamation suit. He's like, bitch, fuck you. I'm gonna whoop your ass in court.
Do you know how much he's going for in court?
He's going for whatever they award. I think the minimum is 100,000 is what he's asking for, but for the most part, he was out of work for months.
Yeah. They were trying to get him dropped from his label and all. They were pressuring his label to.
Luckily, Dirk and them, so they didn't do it. And, you know, of course, his label worked with me. Lawyers and stuff worked with me to kind of get the story out. But for the most part, like, I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. Like, if you come with some shit today, and I told him, I said, if she comes with some shit today, you're done. You're done. I will fucking drag your ass on this channel. I have no problem with telling people that I fucked up. You see what I'm saying? But every time I'm like, girl, I got the facts right here, and you're that test ain't real. I'm like, he went to the same motherfucker you went to. He flew to Florida to take the test with the same guy you did. And then
he took it twice. He took two.
Yes, he took it twice. That's what you said you wanted. And then when she did the money challenge with the post the money, she said post the test and the money challenge. She was twerking on her live. How you twerking and your son just got molested on your Instagram? She didn't even let me get to the Instagram because I'm like, okay, not even a month after your son got molested, you're twerking, talking about the bills gotta pay. The bills can't pay themselves. Pray justice for West, and she twerking.
Too much. It's too much.
But you know what? I'm from Florida. And there's a lot of sorry ass bitches out there.
God, Tasha.
Don't get me started.
Tasha K.
Don't get me started. Listen, my aunties and them was in the projects, but my mom ain't never had us in no projects. But when I tell you, she didn't want us nowhere around no motherfucking project. Because when I tell you them hoes wasn't shit, I never forget. There was some bitches that was living in a trailer across the lot from my auntie. It was a fucked up ass trailer park. And I went in that house. My auntie used to tell me, stay the fuck out of them nasty bitches' houses. And I never knew what she was talking about till I went in the house and they had both doors open, the back door on the trailer. You know the trailer long, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that door open. And I went in there for the first time. Now, you know, as a kid, if you say some shit nasty as a kid, because usually kids don't give a fuck.
Right.
I went
yes.
mattresses on the floor with no motherfucking sheets on them. The carpet was so dirty you could pick up the fucking sand in the goddamn carpet. They had one chair. One of the bitches didn't have no panties on. She had clothes, dirty clothes, built in a mountain right beside the fucking mattress. And she had to be like 22, 23, and she was fucking a 12-year-old in the lot. When I tell you these hoes, I've seen some nasty bitches in these, like, I'm telling you, she fit right the fuck in. I was like, I've seen bitches like you. I know bitches.
I completely believe that there is a spirit over Florida.
No.
Everybody is fucked up in Florida. The gays are fucked up in Florida. The women, the men. It seems like Florida fucked up. It's the spirit over Florida, Tasha.
When I literally hear the most craziest shit, I'm like, it's Florida. I already like. I would see motherfucking, and like, this is what we call them in Panama City. Like, it's no offense. They call us niggas. We call them crackers. These crackers fucking with no shirt on. They red, fucking sunburned all over their goddamn body. Their bodies peeling. They got black fucking moles on their face with fucking freckles with no goddamn shoes on. Pumping gas, standing in gasoline. I ain't never seen no shit like that till Florida.
That's too much, honey.
Look, listen. What the fuck is that? Like, I'm telling you, Florida is one for. I'm telling you, Florida is where if you survive Florida, you get your stripes.
You know who else is from Florida? Oh no, never mind. She ain't from Florida.
Oh,
I was gonna say Kaya, but she ain't from there. But she probably belongs there.
Florida bred. She came to Florida when she was 8 years old.
Yeah.
So she that her whole attitude that is not
Philly. Rubbed off. Florida must have rubbed off.
That is Florida.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Where are you? Are you on vacation?
No, not yet. I went out to Dallas to work. I'm going on vacation Friday.
Now you take Dallas to work.
Yes, I went to Dallas to work.
So you made good on your word.
Not yet. Not on that. This was a different story. I forgot that he was even out there. I'm gonna bring him.
What the hell, you Tasha K?
Swear to God, I forgot. I called him that night. It was in my it was in my DM. They was like, "You in Dallas? You with Wiley?" And I was like, "Oh fuck!" So literally, I texted him. He was like, "I'm at work anyway." He had to work like the overnight shift.
Oh, but I would have quit my motherfucking
I'm
job.
a fly.
I don't know how to hustle.
I'm fly Wiley to Atlanta. I'm gonna fly Wiley to Atlanta.
You gonna fly him out? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Did you?
I ain't going back to Dallas because I ain't getting no flight 1277 no more. No.
I don't fucking blame you.
You didn't see what happened to me today. I was all over fucking every news outlet.
What happened?
Huh?
What happened?
We had a fucking almost a crash landing. The plane fucking bam and fucking tires busting and we all over the goddamn and plane wouldn't stop and it's sprinting around and.
You know why, Tasha? That's because some of y'all still worshiping white Jesus. See, black Jesus told our ass to stay on the ground. We drive cross country. We don't put our ass up there with them white folks. White people having y'all thinking that y'all can do white people shit. Then y'all get up there and be crash landing like Final Destination and shit.
I left the Baptist church when I was 18 years old. I have been Buddhist ever since. I chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. We believe in the karmic law of cause and effect. Okay, that's it. Okay, I know all about that religion that was used to enslave our people for 400. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even say 400 years because motherfuckers are still enslaved to this day from it. So, no, I don't talk about religion because it does get people triggered. But for the most part, I believe in what you put in is what you get out.
You get out energy, reap and sow.
That's it. That's it. That's the natural law of life. And sometimes we have active gods, but for the most part, an act of God is an act of God. It's time for your ass to go. It's time to go.
Oof. You believe that when it's time to go, it's time to go?
I mean, no, I do believe that motherfuckers speak shit into existence. I done seen it. Motherfuckers, I ain't got long to live. Bitch dead. Shut your mouth. Me, I've already spoke. 100 years on my life. And so I ain't leaving here no time soon. And trust me, I've been through some things in my life and came down unscathed with not a scratch. So
yes. Well, thank God you still here. You slave. I was just like, man, have you heard? I mean, you even got your boy, the lead attorney over there giving you praises, honey. He went from talking shit to Tasha K is to shit. So he over there giving you your roses.
Only as good in this business, you only as good as your last video. So unfortunately it could be, oh, she's great today, but tomorrow if I put out some bullshit, this bitch, fuck you, I'm unsubscribing. It's just the nature of the business. And so I always say judge my work, don't judge me, because I'm a human and I'm gonna make mistakes. And guess what, there's been videos where people have seen me, is this bitch slurring her words, is it it's going out.
Yes. It's going out, period. I love it. Did you want to? I don't know how you. Did you want to take some callers?
I mean, if you want, I'll
get got people
Yeah, I mean, I'll get off at 1. I just had to have me 2 drinks.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna drop the link for you guys.
Playing today,
Yes. Okay. Let me drop the link, mods. If you guys want to come, y'all got questions about this FTN Bae stuff, baby. Coming next, Tasha. She was behind the scenes on the situation, honey, ground level.
Yeah, they want to come in. That's fine.
can you give us? So you gotta. What's going on in Dallas? You gotta give us a little something. Because I mean, I need something.
Give you something because it's so tragic.
Wait, it's tragic. Why is tragic?
You ain't never listen. The shit that I was in Dallas for, I wouldn't even want in it. Listen, y'all gonna hear it once, and I guarantee y'all gonna be like, "Fuck this shit." Like it's
No wonder
just
you
so.
going on vacation.
Huh?
No wonder you're going on vacation then. After it's all said
Like
and
what
done.
I heard in Dallas, I don't think out of all the years I've been doing this, I've ever heard anything so just. I just the person involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he would be living. Like it's just so bad. Like I was crying. Like this is the first interview where people have seen me crying. I'm crying. That's
Wow.
how bad. So, once we get everything together, I'll put it out. But it is. I'll tell you behind the scenes. But for the most, it is. It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, to make yourself feel better in the meantime, I think you should take Miss Ligici's advice. Sue the fuck out of the airliner for PTSD lawsuit. Them ties busted open, baby. You got trauma now. You trauma, baby. Losing sleep.
I got trauma, but listen,
Trauma.
all my limbs, I'm good. Got a little back pain.
All these limbs want $100,000 too. Help these limbs get put to work real quick.
I'll never forget when I bought my first car. I was a stick shift. Fucking couldn't get the goddamn gear out, and the truck hit me head on, and my car flipped. Flip. I literally unbuckled my seatbelt when it landed on top, and got the fuck out of the car, and sat on the sidewalk. People was looking at me like I was crazy. Like, what the fuck just happened?
Black Jesus.
A Mazda Mirage. I think it was called a Mitsubishi Mirage, not a Mitsubishi Mirage. And that little car, I'm telling you, that shit, I should have been dead.
Well, you not, honey.
I know.
You here to raise holy hell. Raise hell, but holy hell. It's like I'm here to raise holy hell on the earth. Okay? Yeah. But we got Candy in the background. Hey, Candy H, how you doing, boo?
Hey, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine. Can you hear me, Tasha?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, we're doing wonderful. What's on your mind?
First, I want to say, Conscious, great commentary. I love the way you think. Tasha, you my queen. Appreciate you. I want to truly say that there's two things that bother me. You keep stating that there's a roommate. Did she ever give you the roommate's name?
Yeah, I talked to the roommate myself, and she confirmed.
Okay, because I never heard about the roommate, because she stated that in her interview there was like the two kids, and then the guy David was in the room.
It's not true. That's not true. And you know, if I didn't respect the roommate's wishes, I would have put it out. But there was definitely a roommate there that was living with her, and always there with the kids, because FTN travels a lot to do shows. And so Doodie Lo lives in Atlanta. She lives in Miami. So her kids always stayed at home with the roommate.
Okay. And I do respect that. I definitely respect that. And then the second thing is that I listened to a lot of her interviews, and she was stating that when she was speaking to Wesley, she asked him, you know, what happened. And then she also asked him, how did he feel about that? Did he like that? A mother that is distraught, why would you ask your child that?
I know.
Yeah, that was odd.
That's very awkward. And why would you do that?
Why would it matter? It wouldn't even matter if he did or not. Like,
I'll never forget. Like, I had, when my uncle was molesting me, I think it was one of my aunts that asked me, talking about, did you like it? Did it feel good? I didn't even know what the fuck that meant at the time. How did I think about it? I'm like, why the fuck would she ask me that? Like,
you know,
because you know, coming up from where we come from, you don't talk about stuff like that, and you just leave it alone. And some people think like kids do enjoy that shit. Like I don't know. It's some sick shit.
That just struck me as very awkward. And like I said, I'm from down south, so that is not something. Me as a mother, I have one child myself, and thank the Lord is grown now. But as a mother, if I was put in that situation, I wouldn't be worried about the relationship as far as the guy that supposedly, allegedly assaulted my child. I could care less about what he thinks of me or what he wants to do with me going forward, period. The only thing I would want to talk about is what we're going to do about how to resolve this situation.
Did you see her though when she made the apology video? She was smitten. Yeah,
and it's all about your facial expressions said it all. Tasha,
Look,
I love you, but your facial expression.
I can't hold it. I be trying. I be like, wait,
I
what?
know
My family from Florida. Wait, what? Say that again.
you told on yourself because you was like, girl, if you don't get out of here.
Yeah, it was terrible. Well, thank you for
But that's
coming.
all I wanted to say. But I just said, you know, I didn't believe her. I'm sorry. You know what? Unfortunately, I'm so sorry that this came out into the public.
So let me ask you this question before you go, Candy. Do you believe she created this scenario, or do you think her son did communicate something and it just got convoluted with her involvement?
I believe her son did state something. Okay. You know, maybe there could have been some kind of disagreement between the child and David. You know, sometimes kids do that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I believe that may have happened, but I do believe that because of her own agenda, I believe she caused majority of this.
Got it. Okay, but thank you for calling in, Candy. I appreciate you, love.
All right, you have a good day. Thank you guys.
Too, now, we only got Tasha for 15 minutes, you guys, so don't be too long-winded, honey, okay?
Long 4 days.
C. Marie, welcome back, boo. Are you mute?
Hey.
Okay, hey, love. What's going on?
Back. Hey, Tasha, how you doing?
Hey.
All right, so I want to know, Tasha, like, I think I already answered, but are you wary of speaking, like, so matter-of-factly about the situation?
What do you mean? Give me an example.
I just feel like, and you're entitled to your opinion, everybody is, but I just feel like you feel, and once again, you have the right to feel the way you feel, but it's just like you're stating, like, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened, when the truth is you weren't there. And I feel like everybody on the internet is doing that, but that's what kind of happens on the internet. People are extremists. They're going to either pick left or right, blue or red. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody ever tries to, like, see the middle ground in any situation. I feel like that's what happened. That is what happened in this situation. Ooh, excuse me.
So am I supposed to ignore the police investigation and the hospital investigation?
No. I mean, okay. Because I don't think I think your opinion off of those things. You know what I'm saying?
And it's kind of like how a lawyer takes aside, like when they think about taking cases and stuff, based on the facts of the case, they feel like if they could win or not. And so my thing was, like, everybody in the world told her this did not happen. There was no penetration, no DNA, or no screw. And there's no way as a mother, a 5-year-old boy who can barely probably piss without piss in the toilet would not show signs of any type of anal trauma.
Yeah, and I agree. But, I feel like, once again, nobody was there. I think all things could be true at the same time, and it's just so convoluted that
let me
I'm sorry, go ahead.
To take this personal. This is not personal to you, okay? This is a general, because I see a lot of comments on the internet. My allergies is fucking up with me real quick, but I'm trying to frame this because, like, my platform is bigger now, so I can't say shit the way that I used to say it.
Man,
I'm glad you said that, because they be on your head, and I want to so yeah, pick
yes. Think about it. Don't let the wine talk for you, Tom.
Yeah.
So listen. Like, I'll tell you, conscious behind the scenes, but, like, I know, like, I can't say shit the way I want to say it, like how I would normally say it. So, but I'm gonna say it like this. Just because someone says something and a person happens to be a child or a woman doesn't make it true. And so I don't believe in that a victim is never wrong, because there's been no investigation or anything to determine whether they were a victim or not. And so I feel that we have taken that statement out of context to the point where we can't see past the truth, because if this person is saying it, there must be some truth to it. Whereas no one has investigated nothing. And on the other end, we got our sons, we got our fathers, our grandfathers, our cousins, our brothers being falsely accused every day. But because a woman said it or a child has said it, then that makes it true. And, like, why does it make it true?
And I'm so happy you said that, because honestly, I felt like that's how you were taking everything. So I'm so happy you said. I felt like you were taking what everybody told you and just stating this as if it was 1,000% fact. Like the roommate.
Only one on the internet out of everybody that was calling this man Doodie Lo, and I didn't even know this man. Still don't know him. And I said, that's cap. There's no way a mom. Do you have kids?
Oh yeah, yes, ma'am.
Are you a boy or a girls?
I got a boy.
How long did you clean his ass before he was able to clean his ass on his own?
Oh, girl, he is 7 and I'm still cleaning his ass. I'm trying to give him a little freedom, but you still got to go behind him and help him wipe.
Exactly. So you mean to tell me your son can have diarrhea for 2 months and you don't go see what's wrong with him and not check to see if there's blood? And if there was a parent, the boy wouldn't be able to sit down. He wouldn't be able to do things the way that he did. So,
and don't take what I'm saying like I believe her. So this is how I'm a very middle ground type of person. I definitely think she's lying about some things, but I don't think she's lying about everything. Same with the son, same with Doodie Lo, same with the roommate, because we all have different perspectives and perceptions of any incident, right? I really feel like something happened to this little boy, and he's 5, so he can't really articulate what's going on, because us as adults, we can't even articulate things that happen to us properly.
But do you think your son would be able to articulate if somebody anally penetrated him with screws?
And see, that's the thing, and that's what I mean. Like, he said something happened to him, and maybe her as the mom took it.
But at first he said he did it.
Like, why would she take it to social media?
But listen, David was the third person down the line. First he said he did it. He fell on a stick. That's why he got diarrhea, because he was, pooping everywhere. And then around COVID-19, and let's not forget, there's a gastroenteritis COVID-19. Okay, so where people have gastro symptoms of COVID, where they had diarrhea and stuff. And so, I'm just saying that could be an option. But first it was he fell on the stick. Then he said Alex put the screws up in him, and she said we can't say it was Alex. And he said, well, David.
And then they were welded screws.
Yeah. They put 3 screws. Oh my gosh. And I buried the screws. So you took the screws out, you went and buried them. With no blood, no nothing on them. You talking about DNA.
Because I'm with you. I would hate to put this, I don't care whether he's black, white, whatever, any man, any person, if they're innocent of a crime like this, and everybody's like, oh, no, he did it. That is not right. But also, I'm not going to sit online and be like, oh, he didn't do it either, when he could have done something. Like, you have more of knowledge to everything. I can understand how you forming your opinion.
No, but the night she was talking about, after I spoke to the roommate, he wasn't even with the kids by himself. He was asleep in her room.
But you know what? Here's my take on that whole roommate situation. Look, I have kids. I'm not watching what they're doing every second of the day. So the roommate really can't say that. But I also don't know their apartment. Maybe it's a one-room apartment where they can see everything at all times. But I can't even say that the roommate can say he knows or she knows what happened every second on the second that David was there, or whoever. Because it might not have not been David. It could have been they don't know that, because she wasn't there. She doesn't know who's coming in and out of her house. It could have been a friend of a friend, a neighbor, anybody. But I can't say that the roommate is sitting there watching them kids every second, like, oh, okay, they're there. Like, no parent does that. So because he said,
I feel like
the roommate a guy.
But I feel like we as Black women are so accustomed to trauma that any man, if the accusation is made, something could have happened. And I feel like we've gotten it so wrong that because we put our personal trauma into situations that we can't see the truth, it was right there in front of us. And so the man has done everything, cooperated with the police. He has done a DNA test. He has done everything that he needs to do to clear himself. And yet we're still saying it could have happened after doctors and police have ruled out everything on all parties. But because we have so much trauma.
Until like months afterwards, though, right?
What'd you say?
I don't believe the screws.
Well,
I
she
don't
said
believe
that they
he put
didn't.
his penis in the little boy, because all that stuff, like, it would have been some real serious anal.
She said that none of the testing happened.
So that's what we're talking about. So, but if y'all still are saying something happened to him, first of all, the boy told the police he was allowed to stay home by himself and cook macaroni and cheese on the stove. But that's a lie. But all the other shit is the truth.
It's the truth, right?
Come on, like,
I think that's the truth. And so that's another thing. I think the little boy, he may be processing his mom not being there and the roommate being there, not really paying attention to them, as being alone. And he probably does cook macaroni and cheese. Like, I
was cooking hot dogs at 5.
He's like, oh no, he's lying about that, but not this.
And we also didn't consider if he had saw something or heard an inappropriate conversation. You know, kids hear and expose all type of shit visually, something he saw on TV. I mean, it was so easy. I mean, this is a 5-year-old brain, so who knows what the hell he was, whatever this was.
And I want to say this, viewers, and this is not to all viewers, this is to some viewers, Mayor Hit Dog Holla, they watch my content and they'll say, okay, I interview Kevin Sanders. Oh, she panders the men. But then I interview
I do feel that way sometimes too, Tasha, honestly.
Hold on, but wait a minute. But then I interview women who have been sexually violated by men with facts, okay? And how can I be both? How can I be on the side of men where my platform has been built advocating for women? That makes no sense. And I feel like that's just how people are so triggered at the content that they all rationale goes out the window. And if you,
I'll tell you this, I'm not triggered by the content. I don't care what nobody say about you. One, it's entertainment, and two, I wish you much success. I think you could be bigger than Oprah, Wendy, everybody. But two things can be true at once, and I don't think that pandering to men, like you're doing it maliciously. It may just be your upbringing. You may identify with them in certain ways that I don't identify.
Okay,
I didn't like that Kevin Samuels.
I'll give you that because I'm from the South. I'll give you that. I'm from the South. Okay, and the way I was raised in the South, most Southern people still are offended by me because of my mouth. I was raised, the woman is supposed to be seen, not heard.
Mm-hmm.
I came up in a lifestyle where everybody was wives. Regardless, if a man beat your ass, you a wife.
Yep.
This is what wives go through. So I will give you that. And so I do have a respect because I was raised by my cousins and my brothers, and I have 3 dads because my mom has been married 3 times, and all of them are like father figures to me, especially my real dad. But I will give you that because I have been taught to respect the head of the household. And so when a man speaks, I do have a very old-fashioned way of responding to men. But at the end of the day, let me tell you something. A man has never, ever emotionally abused me, and I stayed. A man has never hit me. A man has never been able to cheat on me, and I would stay, or put my life at risk with cheating. I'm serious. And so, like, I hold men.
And I see that duality in you, honestly, because I'm from New Orleans. I was raised in the South, same. My mom's, aunts, grandmas, they always married. Girl, look, they will date somebody for 6 months. They just believe in marriage, having a man in the head of the household and stuff like that. So I understand that mentality. But I also see that you ride or die for women too. As a matter of fact, the FTN Bae interview, when you shouted out Sinji, I was like, look at this one, I like Tasha right here. You know what I'm saying? But I still see like you were raised in that old school mentality. And I think like in this younger generation, these more current times, it's not that women are trying to like dismantle men, they're just trying to dismantle the negative.
Say that again. Where'd she go?
There's a negative side that some women take overboard with trying to dismantle, and some women have a more rational, logical thought process. Like, okay, I love men, I want them to be great, but just chill with this certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I see the duality in you. But as far as like the Doodie Lo situation, I'm with you. If this man is innocent, man, this is the worst allegation you could have.
People judge him based off of his
life. He is going to be seen as a child molester no matter how much his name gets cleared.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have to let you go, Boo, so I can bring one more person in before Tasha have to go. But thank you for being up here, love.
Thank y'all for the conversation. Y'all have a good night.
Based off of how he looked, the tattoos on his face, the skinhead, bald head, and him being a rapper. So they automatically looked at him and said he was a child molester, which was really fucked up. Which was really fucked up.
Yeah.
Because it's like people look different. You know, and the ones that y'all think are child molesters is really the ones that are, I'm telling you,
they're looking just like everybody else. They look
everybody else.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I was talking to one the other day, and someone told her, because I look this way, nobody would ever think that I'm this way. Wow. But yet the ones that are more visually expressive, like all of a sudden they're weird. They're that's fucked up.
Yeah, because I remember when I reported on this last October, I was reading like comment sections of the shade room and shit, and people was like, "Oh, he looked like he looked scary. He looked like somebody who would do something." I was like, "Really?"
And literally, these be the bitches lining up to be baby mamas from the nigga.
Exactly. I want to welcome Refuse to Lose BTS here.
Let me tell you how real.
Hello, Conscious. Hello, Tasha.
Hold on.
Hold on for 1 minute.
How real Doodie Lo is. Doodie Lo was saying something on the phone one day, and I was like, you know, in this business, because I think T.I. and Tiny, he reached out to T.I. and Tiny, and they told him, you need to go to Tasha K. She gonna drag you, but she will get to the bottom of it, right? And so that's what ultimately made him sit down with me, you know. And I was talking to him. I was like, you need a wife. And he was like, what? I said, you're gonna, in this business, Dirk has a wife. You're under Dirk's label. Dirk has a wife. Do you see women coming out accusing him of shit like this? The wife is a buffer. And he was like, man, I ain't shit, Tasha. I said, what do you mean you ain't shit? I ain't shit. I'm the type of nigga, I will fuck my baby mama's best friend, okay? I ain't shit. And where I come from, I'm a gangster. This is what he said, I'm a gangster. You know what we do to niggas that fuck with kids? He said, I got 4 kids. They ain't putting this shit on me, but I ain't finna be something that I'm not and take a woman through some shit just because I want to protect myself. And he was like, I'm not the married type. And I respected him for that.
Wow.
Yeah. What man you know gonna tell you they ain't shit? They gonna lie to you, tell you,
right?
Tell you I ain't shit.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I refuse to lose. What's going on, Boo?
Hello, hey, Conscious.
Hey, love.
I want to first say that y'all do great work together. I got to give it to y'all.
Tell her again. She already know what it is. She knows CTV the shit, baby. She know what it gives.
I can see y'all doing something. And Tasha, I was in a chat when you did that interview, and I got to say you touched on everything that needed to be touched on. Yeah. And the thing that sat with me the most is that when you went to produce the facts that he had told the doctor that he's left alone and he's cooked it, no, she didn't want to hear that. It's like she don't want to hear nothing else the boy says other than Doodie Lo did this to him. And so is it safe to say that the kid come up with these things often, you know, blaming people for things or accusing people for things? Because why would your child say that he's left alone?
That's what I'm saying. Like, and he wasn't left alone because I know the roommate, like, and I've talked to her. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that wasn't true. So I'm like, girl, so he can lie about this, but he can't lie about this. And in the video, clearly she was coaching him because he was saying Alex did it. He said the 3-year-old did it. First he said he did it. He was like, well, she said, well, you can't say that. We can't say that Alex did it. It's bad. We can't lie. So then he thought of somebody else. David, he's fine.
And even though it took time for her to take him to the doctor, when he's going to the bathroom, he didn't feel any pain, any burning, anything that made him bring.
Yeah, like
something. It just don't seem right.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's too. As a mother who is heavily involved with my kids, I wash my kids' ass. My daughter 15, and I said, if I can smell you, there's a fucking problem. Like, I am on her. Like, you know how teenagers can be. And she be like, Mom, and I'm like, take your motherfucking ass back upstairs. I pay attention to my children. My husband and I washed our fucking daughter till she couldn't wash it, till she could wash herself, till she was like, I want to do it myself.
Right.
You know, and I would still smell her, check her, and make sure she was clean. And if she wasn't clean, you get your ass back in the shower. You know what I'm saying? And my son, I know it's gonna take longer. Because boys and
boys,
that boy had fucking diarrhea and you didn't notice no fucking blood or his ass. Here, come on, me.
Right.
The first time I got fucked in the ass, I couldn't sit down.
Was it sex or are you talking about a violated experience?
The first time I got fucked in the ass.
I'm glad you say that because every time I bottom for a man, I feel like I got to go to urgent care.
You cannot.
And I'm a gay man, and I feel like I need urgent care every time, baby.
Being a bottom for an action.
Yeah. The other thing is, why run the social media? Me and my baby is going to be so quiet to go get where we need to go because we don't want to alarm the person that we on to them. You understand? So I don't understand why the social media first before the police.
Because she didn't even know. She came to social media after the police wrapped up the investigation and said negative.
That's crazy. So you're going to come still paint this scenario even though the authorities say, no, ma'am, we don't see anything.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he did that. Police said, then she shows me a recording of the police said, I don't think you're lying. And I was like, she was going off on his ass, same way she was going off on me. He was like, I don't think you're lying. I don't think you're lying.
And then the lie detector test, she was like, no, I don't want to see that. Where's the recording? No, I don't want to see that.
But he said,
what's papers?
Yeah, and then when he said, I don't want to, he said, I want to was saying he didn't think you would make this shit up. That's what he was saying. He didn't say that I don't think you're lying, meaning that he did it. He's just saying, well, I don't think you're lying. This is what we found.
I just feel like as a mother, she went about things wrong. For one, to even put her child in a spotlight like that, because if something did happen, he's got to deal with this all his life, that the whole world knows that something might have happened to him. And that's his story to tell.
Yeah. No, I know it's right. And that's the thing. And listen, I already told Doodie, if anything comes out and it says otherwise, you know you get dragged on the biggest platform, and I will cooperate.
And we're going to help you drag them.
I will cooperate with authorities, but right now, and as someone who has been through the system in the 80s where they didn't have DNA, I was on the fucking witness stand, and white people looking at me, and they're like, the lawyers like, tell the jury what he did to you. And I remember being 5, and they had a little doll. They was like, show him with the doll, and I was like, he did this, and I was like, he licked my tutu. Like, I remember saying that shit. Like, I was 5. Like, and my story never fucking changed. Like, and I'm looking right across to the motherfucker. At the time, I didn't know it was a crime because I'm 5. Because I thought, when I went in his room, he was playing video games. This was what people do. I'm 5 years old. I didn't know no better. So even when I was on the stand, I still didn't translate that this man violated me because I wasn't scared. I was up there. He licked my tutu. He made me suck. He made me lick his pop. He used to call his dick pop. And the jury was smiling at me. Like, and guess what? They found him guilty. But because my great-grandfather was sheriff of the town in Panama City, they just made a deal to basically send him away. Like, he would leave. He wouldn't go to jail. Because back then, they didn't really send child molesters to jail. They away.
One of the last things, a lot of the things that the people were saying in your audience, Tasha, was, that she has the OnlyFans. And who's to say that the child haven't seen things, being done or what have you? That maybe he's just repeating something he saw, her doing with certain things. Allegedly.
And I'm telling you, you know how we kids are. We repeat what the fuck we hear. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how I learned it. Like, I remember my molester used to tell me to call my vagina tutu. So if I remember him one time, I remember asking him one time, we were getting ready to go to my grandmother's house, and he used to give me a Dr. Pepper. To this day, I will never touch a Dr. Pepper because it was so familiar to that time. And listen, y'all, I've been through trauma, so I don't want y'all feeling sorry for me or anything like that. This is something that happened 35 years ago. Okay, so I remember pulling down my pants because I was so trained, and I squatted down and I was like, will you lick my tutu? And then he got down on the floor and he was eating my vagina at 5. Like, you remember shit like this, but I didn't know it was wrong. So I'm like, how the fuck do I know that? No. He wouldn't
I
be.
just pray that it comes to the light, and I pray that the baby gets the help that he needs. And what was up with the eyes? You said open your eyes. What? I don't understand.
Because she was sitting there like this the whole time. She was like, you know how bitches be in the hood in Florida, motherfucker, bitch, you gonna have to fucking see me. Like, I'm like, bitch, open your eyes.
Then put the shades on. It's like, girl.
And still kept eyes closed once the shades was on. That's how much shade was going on. Well,
And
thank you for coming up,
She kept
Abu.
on saying that he manipulated her. So I guess he said, well, I'm going to still be with you if you get your son to shut up. And so
he didn't even say that. They was just talking because it was so much. He didn't say that. He just was like, you know, of course,
on her.
Feelings for her. Like, I miss you. Okay.
You can't come back over here at all.
No. And then she let him talk to the son.
Yeah, that was wrong. That was wrong.
And then that's when she was like, he got a recording of my son saying he didn't do it, and it looks bad. It just looks bad. Bitch, not only did
Why did you give him the phone?
The police said he didn't do it. The hospital said he didn't do it.
The lie detector
said he didn't do it.
The lie detector said he didn't do it. I know he probably looked like somebody that did it, but
that's why I'm saying, Tasha, it was no way for her to. It wasn't a way for her to really stand on solid ground because none of the evidence was in her favor.
Yeah.
So even if she believed her son, it's like, what are you going to do? Really stand 10 toes down, considering that none of this is on you or your son's side? Like, yeah, you better cop out and take that whatever she thought the offer was, whether it was them being okay and him not suing her, whatever. Cause
that's all she was. She wanted the lawsuit dropped. That's all it was, and she wanted to get back. So my thing is, why would I worry about a fucking lawsuit if you touch my son?
That's real. Right. Then you take to social media and you apologize, and then you come back and say he.
She was smitten. She was like, lashes, her nails was done fresh. When he called and was like, you know what, this ain't gonna work. That's when she made the next video. Hey, he fucking cornered me. I was like,
girl,
you the reason why niggas get killed. And listen, I'm gonna say something. This is exclusive on your channel. And this is all facts. This ain't no allegedly. Like when I tell you I have the recording.
Careful, Tasha.
Okay, about to allege something that she know to be true.
No, allege because I have it.
That's what I'm saying. She finna allege something that she knows to be true, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, you say it's alleged. But I have the recording personally. Chelsea has it, but because he's, I don't know what set he's a part of or whatever, but he's from Chicago. He run with Dirk and Von and those guys, right? Lil Von, King Von. And so there's a recording of her telling niggas where his house was and where to find him.
Wow. Now that's wrong. Why would you be doing all of that? Why would you bring that onto your house knowing the man know where you and your child live at?
And all because her son having nightmares, and this is her interpretation. No facts, no nothing, and she ready to get the nigga got, allegedly. Jesus, that's some ghetto shit.
And guess what? She didn't
that's crazy.
Don't give it over to. Like, she's just dumb.
What if this man would have got killed or murdered before any of this process ever played out?
Yeah.
What if this man would have got murdered before this process ever played out?
But I was just like, I don't even feel like fucking with the feds right now because every time I put some shit out like that, they fucking sending subpoenas. Like, y'all need to leave me the fuck alone. Like, I do a job, take what the fuck I got, build your case, whatever you gotta do. But for that, I knew. And I was gonna play it for her. Like, bitch, ain't that you on the recording? Ain't that you telling the niggas where he sleep? And how to get in the house?
Yeah, she didn't want you to drop no receipts on none.
Man, there's so much shit.
That's too much. Thank you for coming up here. I refuse to lose the boo. I appreciate you, love.
I'll take one more question and I'm gonna go.
We got two more people behind us. B
I'll
Redemption.
take all 4. After those 4, I'm done.
Okay, it's only 2 more. It's only one more person after
Okay.
B Redemption. But before B Redemption speaks, I want to say to you. So, like, first of all, sorry to hear about your own experience as assault victim.
Thank you.
Did you ever, like, did your parents ever get you into counseling? Like, how have you? What was your coping process? How
There
did
was
you?
no fucking counseling back then. Bitch, you go to school. You know, that shit ain't never happened.
So, what was your own so how did you personally?
I didn't have any trauma until I was like 16, 17.
Okay.
Because I started, because I was already somewhat sexually active, my hymen was broken at 5. I don't remember him penetrating me, but they said there was penetration, right? So, but I don't remember that part. I only remember giving him head and him eating me out and stuff. And but for the most part, because I've learned that behavior so early, like I had my first boyfriend in the 1st grade, like I ended up started dating. I wouldn't even call it dating, having boyfriends early. Like I was kissing boys in the 1st grade and kissing boys in the 3rd grade, and but I never allowed them. It was weird. I never allowed them to have sex with me because my mom used to say, you know, you're gonna have sex with them boys and they're gonna give you VD, the green stuff that come out your vagina. So that kept your parents used to say that shit.
Yes, God.
No, they got
I was a virgin all the way until I was 31. Yes.
I was a virgin until I was 18, but I didn't really have no trauma until, and it was trauma, but I didn't know it was trauma because I was very rebellious in school. I didn't go to class. I read a lot. Like my grandma and my aunt them used to buy me like encyclopedia sets and shit, all types of books, and I wouldn't fuck. They'd be like, "Why the fuck are you reading these books but you won't go to class?" Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I was angry, but didn't know why I was angry. And so I noticed that a lot of my behavior came from, one, being raised in the South, one, being told to always be submissive to a man, and 2, I was already sexually experienced. So it was easy for me to be sexual with a man. And so it did lead into promiscuity until I was like 21. But then I started to get help, especially when I had an HIV scare. That shit was scary because I was fucking a gay nigga. No offense. And because
I remember
here's
you hinting to that.
a girl that he was sleeping with had found out she had it. So when I'm telling you, that was another life flash.
Black Jesus.
Man, listen, I called my dad because I was so depressed. I was like, listen, you get me through this, God. I swear to God.
I always tell that the Black Jesus have to do this one more time, Jesus. one more. I need you this one more time. I promise.
When I tell you I was scared, like, fuck. And I'm clean.
Amen. A freaking man. So before we take these next I want to. So what is counseling like? Like, what do counselors do when it comes to sexual assault? Like, what do they teach? What do they teach you about how to process? Like, what are you processing?
You're processing the behavior. You're processing the character. You're learning to separate yourself from the incident and the person, and understanding why it happened. So therapy really takes you back to the roots and psychology and behavioral, just kind of why we behave. And the guy, he's still alive. I blasted him on Facebook like 2 years ago when I found out he was still alive, but that was going through too. But it teaches you how to understand how and why people do the things that they do.
Okay.
And so you're able to take the blame off of yourself, and you're able to understand it from a different aspect, not feeling sorry for him, but just understanding the circumstances in which it was, and how everything went down. So you're able to really heal and understand that nothing that you did was your fault, and everything as a result of that moment was based on what you were taught. You teach a 5-year-old, it's just like athletes are created from being, I'm and I started playing basketball or doing gymnastics or running. And then by the time they're 21, 22, they're fucking in the Olympics. Well, I was in the Olympics of promiscuity because I started fucking when I was 5. You see what I'm saying? So you do what you're taught. And so once I learned all aspects of my life and the people that were in my life, and of course educating myself, that's what therapy did for me. You got to want to do the
What
work.
do they teach y'all about the perpetrator? Do they teach y'all to hate the perpetrator? Do they teach y'all to just like what do they tell y'all about the perpetrator?
It was more so about the perpetrator. It's more so about your own self-healing.
Okay.
So there was never any talk about my perpetrator. It was more so talk about the environment that I was in. And, you know, there's no, you were 5. You had no control of how you were born, where you were born, and your circumstances. But what you do now determines everything. And being that you know right from wrong, you know that, you know what to do and what not to do and how to practice things. And so when you learn how to think, and vitamin D is a big, big thing, because I'm from Florida and then I moved to Georgia, and that's when my depression really hit, because even though there's sun here, there's not really a lot of sun like I'm used to. And Black people a lot of vitamin D, because vitamin D, without it, you are depressed. Things are more, it's just like in the wintertime where people get depressed because there's no sun. People want to sleep all day. They want
I
to
must
eat.
be a dark-hearted bitch because I'd be happy as fuck in the cold-ass seasons of my life.
That's because you probably take some vitamin D supplements.
I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah. No, my husband's a Scorpio too. His he's always the same.
So going forward, I want y'all, when it comes to sexual assault, I want y'all to include the word assault and sodomy, because it's not being ate out when it's assault. It's assault. It's oral assault. It's oral sodomy. It's all that, because it makes it seem like it's consensual when like the word fucking and oral sex and all that is added in, and we know that it's not, but it just like,
I mean, I was kind of using that to describe it so you guys see the graphic nature of it, but it was definitely molestation. It was sexual assault. This man was in his 20s and I was 5.
One more question before we take the caller. Do you think that perpetrators are not victims in terms of they've been assaulted themselves, but do you think the pedophile thing is something inside, that is something that the pedophile can't control, like they can't control how they feel about some, like, what is just your attitude about that? Like, is a pedophile?
Well, I'll tell you based on mine, because there's many different circumstances. Because you can have men that get all the pussy in the world, and because they get so much pussy, they don't understand when to say no or when to stop, because it's such a daily habit. There's no boundaries to what they fuck. You understand what I'm saying? So, but from my perpetrator, he was a nerd, and he was a computer geek, and he had bumps all over his body. And thinking back at that time, he was not the most attractive because he was always in the room playing video games, where he should have been outside dating women,
being cute.
So I'm around, and I'm, showing him attention. He just, instead of him developing relationships outside with his peers, he developed a relationship with me. And that's normal. But he knew it was wrong because he hid it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. But thank you for sharing and thank you for the transparency, Tasha. That's the deep shit. But that's amazing as a survivor. B Redemption, are you there, love? I think you got some feedback in the background as well.
Water real quick. Hold on.
What are your thoughts, love? And welcome to the platform.
Hello. First, I want to say I'm an original wino, and I'm newly subscriber to Consciouztv.
Oh, thank you.
I love both of you guys.
Thank you.
So only thing I have to say is that from listening to FTN Bae, that's her name, it just seemed like she lied. It seemed like she was being vindictive, and she was upset because what woman, after throwing out any allegations like that, will go back and talk to the man, and if he's okay to be back with her, you're going to recant the story, let him talk to your son. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And I've known females like this, and that child not safe in her hands. I mean, sad to say, anything could have happened to that child.
Mm-hmm.
She don't know. It seems like she's not even checking her own child.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of Black men that get accused, and there are a lot that do stuff, but there's a lot of good Black men that get accused of heinous stuff like this just because they don't want to be with a female, or they don't want to pay her bills, something like that. And I just feel like it's sad, and it's something that we need to fix in our community.
Yeah, for sure. No, you're absolutely right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about it. I mean, I'll keep it short and sweet. I love both of you guys.
And we love you too.
Yeah, and comments, I want to send you an email because I do make wigs, and I want to send you.
Send it on, baby. Consciouztv@gmail.com, baby. Go ahead and send that on over. All right, boo.
Love you guys. Bye.
Love you too. Bye-bye. We have one more, and that's Melissa. Hey, Melissa.
Hi there, Conscious.
Hey, and welcome to the platform.
I just wanted to point out that mental illness is real.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the interview and I felt that there was some mental illness going on. The fact that the woman was more concerned about this man than she was with her son really stood out to me. Her body language during the interview definitely displayed that she loved the man. And I also want to point out that childhood trauma is real as well.
Yeah.
And the little boy definitely needs some sort of counseling to figure out why he lies, to figure out what really happened there. I was actually assaulted by my father, and that's something that I carried for 30-something years. I shared that with my siblings once my father passed last year. And that trauma is something that kids carry for a long time. And not only, is there trauma for the little boy, there's also trauma for David. The fact that the narrative's out there, he's going to have to deal with that and live with that. People are going to look at him sideways. They just all need prayer and healing right now. And that's all I wanted to say.
Oh, but thank you so much for that. You're absolutely right. Gosh, there was something I was going to say to Melissa's point. I forgot what it was. My God. But gosh, I forgot my point. But anyway, so that's will you be covering the lawsuit since there's one that has been filed? Or
yeah, I mean, I don't typically cover lawsuits like that because it's just a long drag out, just paperwork. But as far as the initial,
this one's gonna be pretty drama filled, I would imagine. I mean, this is gonna be
they keep it cute in court. They don't get into all that drama and shit. So they keep it real cute. You walk a very thin line. So, but I know he probably is gonna take it all the way. If he does happen to go to court, I will definitely get a press pass and get down there and see what's going on. So, yeah.
Well, I know what my question was. FTN Bae had mentioned that she doesn't have family. Did you ever learn anything more about her own upbringing? Like, is she a victim?
With her grandmama.
Okay. But she said she don't have no family. She ain't got nobody to really help her, be there for her like that.
Fuck with her like that, but for the most part, like, she has family. It's just don't have a good relationship with them. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for the fucking exclusive, Miss 1 Million, honey. Like, thank you for coming through, honey. Like, I needed. I'm glad you did, because I was just like,
I had such a life scare today. I was like, fuck, I can't go to sleep.
Lawsuit trauma, file it. Okay,
No.
give me a little give me 30% finder's fee. Trump lawsuit, airplane, tire bus.
I'm like, so I went live on my channel. My kids are asleep. Everybody's asleep. I'm still up. I had
some fucking melatonin or something.
Marijuana. Yeah, I'm sleeping now. So, like, I'm just like, fuck. Like,
look, me and my nigga, last night, he brought me this amazing bong, and I was in the astral plane somewhere, baby.
Oh.
I got my white boy on last night. It was interesting. This is my third time like trying cannabis, and I'm like, shit. But thank you so much for being here, Tasha. The interview was amazing. You got the Manosphere Team Tasha right now, honey. They got your back. And
they with the Kevin Samuels and they dropped me.
Yes.
And they can't they dropped me. I'm like, y'all just don't know what just stay. Like, fuck y'all doing? Yeah.
This is what I be telling these. I be telling these viewers all the time. Like, content creators know that, like, y'all do the most. Y'all threaten us, do all the nine, and be right back with the
back.
Yeah, like the shelf life being hated is short. Yeah.
So many people like, because of course we just launched the app a few months ago. There's not enough content on the app. Unsubscribe as soon as we drop something. Well, since I paid, can I use that credit? You can't. Just stay. What the fuck are you doing? Right. You can't. And then they end up paying 3-4 times because they keep canceling. So yeah.
I'm gonna have you back. So much shit I want to ask you about. Like, I want to ask you about your thoughts on Young Pharaoh, because he got it going on right now. And I heard there was a video.
Pharaoh, somebody text me about him. What the fuck going on?
Shot everything. I mean, he's just going ballistic. Him and his baby mama been going through it. He shot up the garage allegedly, and then apparently the night before there was a video that's now deleted by the bodyguard of him chopping up white substances. People were saying that it was that Christina. It's been a mess. Like, Pharaoh is a mess, Tasha. You need to go in and save Pharaoh. You need to go fly down to wherever the hell he's at.
He cannot be saved. Pharaoh is all for the theatrics. He loves this shit. He cannot be saved.
We need the aliens to come and pick him up or something, because if he stay here long enough, it ain't gonna be nothing left.
For that interview, I wasn't gonna interview no fucking Young Pharaoh. What the fuck for? For him to get in and over talk? Like, and he tried to do that. And
what tried to blame after that interview?
Like, oh, my baby mama's this, my baby mama's that. These were children. Get the fuck out of here. Talking about they wanted to be wives. They were fucking kids. The fuck? And you had babies with them. Fuck out of here. So, yeah, I mean, Young Pharaoh, he's just different. And I hate that he's like wasted his whole platform. Like, he had a good thing going before he started letting that money go to his head. Yeah. Like, he walked in with jewelry all down, fucking gold Lamborghinis.
Tattoo on the eyes.
What the fuck are you doing?
We gotta save him, Tasha. We gotta do something.
It's to save. That's it.
Tasha, don't do that.
So I know these are grown ass fucking men. Fuck out of here. Shit, they mammy couldn't get it right. What makes you think I can?
Tasha K. Tasha K. Take your ass
out of here.
Take your ass to bed. Thank you.
I
I appreciate you.
In the shower and go to bed.
Okay. Well, we love you, and we're continuing to tune in. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I'm yawning like a motherfucker. You see me? I'm like,
right. Bye.
Bye.
That was Tasha K, y'all. Get these motherfucking thumbs up, child. We got an improv interview. For those of you who was like, oh, CTV, this is epic, baby. Tasha K is about as much of a residence over here at this point as our secular man of God, Dr. Reed, is, honey. Tasha K been pushing through the platform since December. So, shout out to Tosh. This was amazing. This was a lot, my God. But the evidence is not supporting FTN Bae and the allegations she claimed that her son made against Doodie Lo. So we gotta let the verdict stand until something changes. And if it doesn't, Doodie Lo is an innocent man. So apparently there's a lawsuit coming. I don't know whether, FTN Bae already got her application submitted to the strip clubs and shit, baby, because, it's going to need to be a lot of ass clapping going on, baby. If Doodie Lo going for $100,000 plus, baby, it's going to be a lot of ass clapping, baby. Hope she got a sitter, honey. Give baby boy to mama, because mama about to be motherfucking working for real out here. Because that lawsuit, baby, that's going to be easy. That's going to be motherfucking easy. Because, oof. Just easy. too much. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for being here. I got some content coming for you guys this coming week. Make sure that you guys also subscribe to Tasha K. Check her out. Check out her interview. If you missed it, child, it's fucking epic. And just God bless to everybody. If there's any further development, we will continue to give commentary, etc. I appreciate you guys. Yes, China, it's a sad ass. It's a wild. It's wild. It's fucking wild. But the truth always prevails, and so, you know, everybody just light and love. And I hope that to FTN Bae, I hope she, you know, she made a lot of choices that didn't work out well for her or her child. I hope that she's taking that information in and that she's growing and evolving with all the choices that were made since October of 2021 up until 2022. And with Doodie Lo, bro, choose them better. Choose them better. I don't know how this whole meeting people on the internet thing is going. We need to take it back to some old school. Take time talking on a house phone to a girl, honey. And I'm talking about the old school, long ass house phone with the long extension cord, baby. That go from mama room to brother room to the kitchen to the bathroom, baby. It's time to just spend a lot more time getting to know people before we having sex with folk. Before we willing to be introduced to people, kids, baby. Let me tell you something. I don't do the kids. When a nigga got a child, baby, I don't want to meet him to 5 years from now, girl. Like, you know, we need to slow down. I know social media is off the chain, speeding up time and feelings and fucking and everything else, but we gonna have to be more still and more mature and not get sucked in and then find ourselves in situations like this, honey. So yes, lot to digest. But I want to also shout out to my Cash Appers who had Cash App me some coin. Hold on, let me see if I can shout you guys out real quick before I head out of here today. I don't have Super Chat activated, but you can always support me through Patreon membership and or a Cash App or PayPal. Also, my email is in the description box below. I am swamped right now, so if I haven't responded to your email, just please, like, give me a minute. I got a lot going on, but I am catching up slowly but for surely. I want to shout out to Marilyn. I want to shout out to Aisha. I want to shout out to Terrence. I want to shout out to Felice. I want to shout out to Monique, Britt, Susan, Your Sweet Place, Amanda, Tracy, Binary Code, Trevor, Dear Yvette, Tonelli, Leo the Lioness, my boo. Make sure you subscribe to Leo the Lioness, you guys. Baby girl Kia, Christopher, Trejo 41, Diane, Duality, Jay, Marcia, March, April, Tawana, Sonia, Caramel, Shelia, Shet, Barrel, I am El Pandrino, Caramel, Ryan, Sarah, Troy, Candace, another Tracy, Carlisa, the Queen Tulsa. Oh, that's what I sent, Queen Tulsa. Okay, so I had to go back a few videos, girl, because I ain't shout people out in a minute. So shout out to everybody. Mods, thank y'all. I know y'all had to block people, but once, you know, hopefully who y'all blocked tonight was, you know, was explicit. Y'all know we trying to retire the block thing. Let folk just act a plum, not a plum fool, but you know, they can act up. But y'all know if it's anything extreme, you know, extreme. You can do criticism, people can talk shit, people can have opposing views, people can use, you know, appropriate cuss words, but long as ain't no extreme shit going on, honey. But this was a good show. Make sure you guys check out the Yes God Roundtable over on YB Entertainment TV with the rest of my co-hosts. We had a great show tonight. Check out the community tab, girl. We got 9 episodes to go. We're going to be getting into some teams, baby, some hot button shit, honey. You know, wilding out together and doing what we do best, honey, which is give you guys commentary. I also got merchandise that I'm working on right now. So, and I'm a one-man army right now. in a great place, but bitch, I'm working my motherfucking ass off. And of course, it's paying the fuck off. So, you know, very motivated, but workload is top tier volume right now. So I ain't even got much time for a social life right now, girl. It's like between taking care of my niece who just came into the world 3 weeks ago, and also, you know, maintaining my platforms, and just the rest of the time, girl, get sliced and diced every which way for niggas and friends, and it's just a lot. But I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys later.